What's happening, everybody? Welcome to the Spurs Corner, back again on a Wednesday night, the best place to be in town if you're a Spurs fan. How you doing? Smash a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all the good stuff. Get your comments in. We will go through them one by one. How you doing, everyone? Hope you're well. Spurs finally got a couple of back-to-back wins. Everyone's positive again. We're going to win the league. Champions League final incoming. Bring it on. Matt, how are you doing? Hope you're well.
All good, mate. All good. All good. Happy Tottenham fan at the moment.
How you doing, Iggy?
Sounds it.
At the moment. Yeah, I'm good. I'm just listening to the comments saying bring back the Tottenham away intro. Everyone's missing that jingle, man. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Obviously, Spurs winning on the weekend, winning again yesterday. Winnable games had to be winnable games, and 6 points out of 6, man. You can only play what's in front of you. So the mood, you can see the mood has changed a little bit, especially following the 2 home wins, which is unheard of this season. First time we've done that this season, so long may it continue. How are you still all right?
Yeah, I'm good. I went to the game on the weekend. I didn't go last night. I was in the Tottenham TV studio. But some good things, some overhyped things. Let's see how we go. Keep my feet on the ground. JP, you all right? Did you go last night, by the way?
No. It was but 1 week, such a difference, eh? 1 week, 2 games, suddenly everyone's happy. As you were saying, the league's on. We're only 5 points away from the top or something like that. Everyone's happy. The mood has changed. Archie Gray's the maestro.
Started already.
Moani's the next best thing since sliced bread, and even I heard you guys praising what's his name, Tell, yesterday. That's how quick 2 games.
I can see something in him. I can see. I can see it.
When you say you, who are you referring to? You mean Brian?
I can see something in him.
I'll have a chat with him.
Really fast in the box once.
I'll have a chat with Brian.
I did not praise. Do you know what? Before we get into it, let's quickly just
cooking already, JP boy. Right.
I know, just like straight.
Man's cooking already. We're having him began to put the oil in the pan yet, and JP's already flipping that pan.
I've got notes.
He's already there.
I've got notes.
Turning the fire up.
Yeah, we're just turning it up a little bit. Woo.
Heung-min's son, he was back at the lane last night. The reason being,
to get back to LA, I heard.
The Spurs mural is up on one of the side streets, painted on the side of a building. It's quite a nice mural, to be fair. He came up to the mural, he signed it, and he then came and spoke to the fans before kickoff. He didn't really get to say goodbye to us. So I guess it was a bit of a goodbye. He was looking quite dapper. He was looking very sharp last night. But look, very quickly, what do you make of it? Sonny coming back, mural, speaking to the fans.
I thought, I think it's always emotional when you get one of your best players coming back to say goodbye to the fans and the club. Let's be honest. He's been one of our best players in the last 10 years. Who's been at the club, albeit he started to wane in his last season. But I think it's good that he decided to call it a day, not carry on and just be bad for multiple seasons. And then ruin his legacy. And he won. He cemented himself as a legend by winning us or helping for us win a cup. And for that, we'll be eternally grateful to him, and he'll go down in the history books, as one of our greatest ever players, I guess, in that forward position. He may not make the first 11 of a greatest ever Tottenham team, but he'll be on the bench or something, wouldn't he? A prime son. So it was
I think
great
Prime
seeing him.
Son makes the greatest 11. I think Prime Son does.
Yeah, there's an argument, isn't there? There's an argument to be had. I mean, I'm
There's
not
always
sure.
an argument, always a bloody
Yeah.
argument in the Spurs community. Always.
Yeah.
Love an argument. Love
yeah.
an argument.
Depends where you play. Right? Formation.
Yeah, exactly. And
let's get into that. I'm joking.
His speech wasn't like, I didn't find what his words were saying was that fantastic, but it's nice to see him there and
that's
wave
just
goodbye.
him, though, isn't it?
Yeah, wave goodbye. And
I think he's quite humble, though, isn't he?
He's not the biggest communicator, is he? It's just
no.
He's like, don't forget me, as if we'll ever forget him.
I end on this point. I think that one thing as well that endears him to the fan base is that he was well loved by everyone at the club. I don't think there was anyone who didn't love Sonny, love him being around. The players, the staff, everyone loved him at the club. So and for that, the fans love him and we love him. So it's good to see him, and it's sad, obviously, as well that he's moved on and he's coming to the end of his career. But hopefully one day, you never know, if he decides to take up coaching or something, he'll be back.
He was tremendous for us, not only for football, but also from a global perspective, right? Because
from revenue point of view.
Well, I know, but
where them Korean fans gone? Where are they? I don't see them anymore in the stadium.
There was a few back last night, apparently.
Really?
Yeah, but like the amount of fans that come to see
Sonny
him,
was back. Sonny was back.
It's seats and revenue for us, isn't it? So kind of, and really, it's taken Spurs to Korea. So it's like being a global thing, but he has had his time. We love him, and I think it's fitting that he got to pick up the trophy as well. Like just before going on, as Matt said last season, it was a bit, you could see the downhill coming, but it's nice
to
for him
the
to
mural.
pick up that trophy and crack on.
They put it in the mural, him lifting the trophy.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's amazing, man. Great.
They added it, yeah.
I never understand why they sign it. I've never understood Kane signing it. I never understood him signing it. I just maybe it's just a more figurative, more of a don't understand signing a wall.
I'm sure they'll put varnish on it, Iggy, so it doesn't.
Yeah. Listen, I get
someone's
it.
Someone's going to come in and nick those bricks.
It's like a no. That's what
he's already trampling on his memory, man. It's like it's taking 1 minute, and he's already saying, so why did he sign it? It's like...
No, I don't know. I don't understand any murals being signed. I mean, it's probably like an image thing.
Just say that he's
like a signature of approval
right,
sort of thing. Yeah, I get that.
It probably says Mickey Mouse.
yeah. No. Listen, he's a great player.
Those bricks would be worth a lot. That's like put price. That's raised the price tag on that house.
Do you know one thing about Son and Kane that they always did?
Kane, by the way, I just saw one of the comments. Kane did get a mural. He has got a mural.
Kane's got a mural, and Eddie King as well. Do you know one thing about Son and Kane?
No statues.
They always scored in North London derbies. Against Arsenal, they always turned up for those games.
Yeah.
So many players go missing in those games.
So did Eric Lamela.
We pissed it up the wall, didn't we, having them two? And just
mural for Lamela. The shithousery king.
Lamela was unreal against it. He just always turned like he just became an animal like when he saw them.
You know what? That's what I loved Lamela for. He just got under their skin, didn't he? Just any opposition he wanted to. He just always gets under and he wasn't scared to put in a tackle. He just didn't give a shit.
Yeah, but he got underneath our skin as well, though.
Well, okay. Be truthful. What would you give to have Eric Lamela on the left wing now, over and above your favourite player, Odegaard, and Mytel? I would have him any day over those lot.
Mate, our left-hand side, we just spoke about Son and Ginola's been there before. You're thinking all the players that play on left-hand side, Bale. And then you rightly say Kane, Son, and you're like, now we've got Richarlison Odegaard. How's that happen, man? How's that
Johnson and
happen?
Johnson.
Tell
That's
me
I can't
why.
150 million, though, Iggy. That's 150 million.
Oh, no,
How
I'm
does
not
that
I
happen?
can't do this. I can't do this. I can't
You
do
know,
this.
prime Liverpool had Mane, Firmino,
Here we
Salah.
go.
They still have Salah just, but they've got Gapco. They've
No,
got
Salah's gone. He's gone.
okay. Forget Salah for a minute, but
Salah's
after
gone.
them, after the other two at least, they bought Gapco. They bought Diaz. They've they're quality players.
Letting
Man.
Diaz go was a big mistake by Liverpool. Do you know that?
Yeah, massively.
He's doing really well at Bayern Munich.
It was a quality
Really
player.
well.
It was wrong to
I think it's difficult, though, because they probably had thoughts of having Jota there, right? So letting Diaz go, if Jota was there, it probably would have
another
evened
one. Yeah,
itself
you're
out,
right.
to be honest.
Jota as well.
Diaz and the wing is better.
Proper players like after Firmino, after Mane. Look at the players that we're mentioning. The quality. All right, maybe one or two they're like this, but the quality's still up there. We've got Kane, Son, Odegaard.
I don't
like
agree
that.
with this. Like Lamela was crap. I don't think Lamela was crap. He just
was
was
injured
always
a lot,
injured.
man. For
He was
me,
always
a lot,
injured a lot.
right?
Injured
But
a lot.
when he did play, he did get a few goals and he did get a few assists. And when you look at his highlights going back and you look at what we've got now, right, you realise the levels between what we had back then versus what we've got
Lamela
now.
was technically very sound, man. There's no two ways about it.
He couldn't strike a ball though. He couldn't strike a ball. He's always side foot.
Yeah.
He couldn't just put his.
But I think it's unfair. It's like saying Moura was crap because he didn't light up the Premier League or whatever. I don't think there were crap players. It just didn't do what Son and Kane and all the other top players in the Premier League do.
You bite your hand on
consistency and stuff like that. Oh yeah, Moura or Lamela would easily get into the team now, with no doubt, because they're just technically much better players than what we've got.
Lamela technically was really good.
So
Lucas Moura, his biggest fault was consistency, right? He struggled with consistency, but make note to man, he was a really good player, man. He on his day he was unplayable, he could really
absolutely,
and he turned up at one of the biggest nights of in Spurs story. He was there, man, very present, scoring a hat trick.
And this isn't
anyone would ever forget.
And I don't think this is like revisionism, like are you looking back and making out these players were like the best ever players and all that sort of stuff. No, they weren't in our first 11 when everyone was fit. But there's no denying that they had quality about them. And you're right, Iggy. The main thing was for them was injuries and inconsistency.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
They used to both piss me off. Lamela only had one foot, and Lucas Moura
didn't matter. He reboned it when he needed to, mate.
And Lucas Moura just kept running into
one foot or not, mate. He knows how to do a reboner.
Listen, you guys at your history trip down memory lane, we've got to talk about the current as well. In case
do we have to talk about Odegaard and Tell?
We're trying to avoid it for as much as possible.
We're going to quickly I said 5 minutes, let's quickly talk about Son, and we're having a debate about Lamela.
No, do you know what? It's more fun. It's more fun going down memory lane than to come.
It's not my fault. It's Pipe's fault. He's the one who's throwing shade on him. Eric Lamela, the European
Who told
Cup
you to
winning...
bring his comment up on the screen? Right, Pipes. There was a
big
game
up to everyone
yesterday.
in the chat, by the way. Big up to every single one of you in the chat. Thanks for jumping on. I am just scrolling quickly by you. I see Savas in the chat. Big up, man. Big up to everyone, every single one of you.
Smash the like, subscribe. Yesterday there was a game, believe it or not. Slavia Prague came to White Hart Lane. Spurs came out 3-0 winners at the end of the game. Pretty. I'm not going to say comfortable win because they actually got into us. I was quite surprised that they even had chances.
They're a decent side, man. They weren't bad.
They're not. They're not a decent side. They're not.
Nah, man, come on, man. They weren't as bad as.
They're 4 places off the bottom of the Champions League table. They're
I thought
not
they were a
good.
decent side. They're not. I didn't think they were going to beat
We
Spurs.
made them look half decent, but I don't think they're a decent
But when
side.
done we ever? Anyway, this winning at home stuff's getting boring now. Brentford now, Slavia.
Hey, look,
It's like a
before the
London
game-
bus, isn't it?
Before the game, Mateus Tel was announced as being back into the Champions League squad after being omitted by Frank. He replaces Solanke. Now, the rule is you can only replace a player if the player being replaced is going to be out for a significant period of time, which is minimum 8 weeks, which means Solanke can't play in the Champions League until second week of February.
Yeah, but
So-
it stops. It stops, doesn't it?
And there'll be a long road back to get him fit and playing
Well,
and all that sort of stuff.
If we go into the playoffs, we've got 2 games in February.
Well,
And
we
it's
ain't played with
crazy
him
though,
so
for
far.
someone who's only
so-
supposed to be out for a short time, how long it's taking.
Another
That's-
big money player that you bought got injured, doesn't
Who's
do
never,
nothing.
never been injured all last season. It's a
But don't worry,
Spurs-
Richarlison's come good now.
Save that. We are gonna bring up Richie on tonight's show. The starting lineup, guys. It was Vicario, Xavi, Richie Gray, Romero, Kudus, Porras, Spence, Bentancur, Van de Ven, Kolo, Mourani. Mate, strong team. Strong team. Paulinho was on the bench, Bergvall on the bench, Tel, Odeberg, Sarr, Johnson, and Danzo. Sorry, this is the wrong lineup. What am I doing? This is the Brentford lineup.
I was saying that Moani didn't
Thinking
start.
Moani didn't start, yeah. All right, it was a strong lineup.
I get it, though. Everyone understands.
Moani was benched for Odeberg, and Paulinho came in for, was it Bentancur?
Bentancur, yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, everything else was pretty much the same. Oh, Spence started because Adogi's out. Adogi, another one. He's injured for a long time.
Another injury prone.
He's
player.
another one that's got injured. So, but overall, it was. Do you know what? Adogi, we got to decide whether we're going to keep him or not. He's always injured. You know.
Always.
He's always.
He's been injured for like 2 seasons now. It's just.
He plays a month or
Richards.
2, then he's out for a month or 2. He plays for a month
Dougie.
or 2, he's out for a month. Yeah, Dougie, he's out.
Yeah,
Again.
he's got. For me, at the end of the season, he should go. Just because he just doesn't listen. Not that I mind him as a player. I don't think he's necessarily a bad player, but it's the same. He's starting to fall into that same discussion we was having earlier on Lamela. He's a good player, but he's always getting injured and too frequent. So we need a bit more reliability. We got a few players like that, by the way, in our squad who get injured and they're only supposed to be out for a week or 2 or a month.
Maddison.
6 months. isn't
Yeah,
it?
and then it turned out to be 6 months. Solanke,
Madison.
now, Solanke in an indirect way is telling us, he's not going to be back anytime soon. That's the player that was supposed to be out only for a little while.
We should
don't
talk about the
understand.
players we want to get rid of at the end of the show.
Yeah, so
Well, look,
that-
let's quickly talk about the game. Spurs won. Oh my god, I've got all the Brentford stuff up.
why Paulinho getting dropped then? I don't understand what's going on there. It's 2 games.
Just bring up.
Well, look, I can remember it in my head.
Resting.
Spurs had something like 16 shots. They had 8. We had 9 on target. They had, I think, 7. We had more corners, but only just. Possession-wise, we were better than them. I know at half time, the stats were all even. Possession, XG, shots, goals, shots on target, should I say, not goals, because we scored just before half time and own goal. But all the stats at half time, both teams were even. There was nothing to separate us except for the own goal. Second half, though, Spurs just pulled away. Shots, corners, progressive
they
passes,
sort of
XG.
disintegrated, didn't they?
Yeah.
They're flat.
What do you make of the game, guys? Because some fans say, yeah, good professional performance. Others said that we gave them way too much space and they created far too many chances. If they had their shooting boots on, it would have been different. Some fans say, doesn't matter. It's all about the 3 points. Other fans were saying, we can't score from open play. Everything was set pieces, penalties, and an own goal. What did you make of it? Because I personally, I thought we got the job done, but I wasn't wowed by it. I was more impressed by us against Brentford. Yeah,
I just thought it was a decent performance. Everything you said is right. I mean, they did get into us a little bit. Maybe we could have shut them out a bit more and dominated a bit more. But I didn't ever feel that we were going to lose the game. So I think that's a positive.
Yeah.
And we did have good periods of control in the second half, where we just looked comfortable. I don't know whether the players were fully playing 100%, if you get what I mean, because we were so comfortable in the game. So overall, I was pleased with the performance. I didn't think it was a poor performance by any stretch. I think it was more of a continuation from Brentford in terms of our intent to attack. I think what did disappoint me was just the lack of quality we have when we do attack. So it's all very well pulling off these moves and Xavi and Kudus making things happen. But then when you got Richarlison and Odegaard getting involved in it, that's where you just put, your hands in your head type thing. You think, God, do we really have to put up with these players all season? Type thing. Oh, Stell's got bored and he's got off. But
it was quite an open game, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was an open game. It was an open game. I think overall, my feelings on the game is that it was good to see Xavi and Kudus have a good game back to back. That's the pleasing thing. I think Xavi is now starting to find his feet, and you're starting to see the player that we've seen for Holland and RP Light League and all the other teams that he's been at in the past. We know he's a good player, whether or not he makes that at Spurs or not, and it's good to see him starting to get to grips with Tottenham effectively and how we
regarding Xavi Simons, right? If you look at the stats on him, we win 50% more games when he starts. We lose a lot less. We've only lost one when he starts. Our goals, we score more. And our points per game are 50% higher as well. So to not start him is effectively criminal in the Premier League, because those stats don't lie, and it's quite well balanced, because it's 7 when he starts, 8 when he doesn't. So it's a pretty fair analysis. When you see stats like this, is there any justification not to start him in the Premier League?
I don't know if it's that still, to be honest. It's probably whoever replaces him is more important.
Yeah, but when you see those stats, JP.
But what I'm saying is,
not playing?
But what I'm saying is, if Xavi doesn't play, we end up with a banter there, which then means, or we end up. I mean, who else really starts? Like Archie Gray, kind of like someone like that. So therefore, he will give you more. He will give you more if kind of like over Sarr. I think I understand why he's not being played, because he was really lightweight to start with. At the start of the season, he was getting pushed off the ball quite easy.
But we still won. We still won more games when he was like that.
But he does. He needs to be able to get used to it, right, and get used to the pace. So, in a way, I'm contradicting myself, because I think the more game time, and I was complaining about it on a video like a little while ago, kind of like the fact that the more game time he plays, the more accustomed he'll get to the pace of the league, right? But so I don't know if that's really a thing about him playing and not playing, and I don't think I don't think it's been that much of a major thing.
I think when you look at these stats, to not start him in the Premier League is criminal. Our win rate drops by 25%. We lose a point per game. We score less goals per game. We win 2 less games in every 6. I mean, Maziggy, when you see stats like that, how can we justify dropping him?
No, you can't, because he's our only real creative player aside from Kudus, so you can't not play him. But I get a reason why he would want to rotate, with the games coming thick and fast a little bit here and there. And I also get as well that he's had an adjustment period in the league and Tottenham. So now he's starting to play, then he needs to play a lot more. Definitely, 100%. I
think one thing I was impressed yesterday was the fact that he did get kicked a hell of a lot, right? Yes, of course, he had a moan or whatever, but he pretty much got up and got on with it. So, he's able to take those kicks and stuff. And You can see him progressing, can't you? As each game goes by.
Listen,
he's a quality player. He's definitely a quality player. You can just tell.
I don't think anyone's even the harshest critic. I don't think they can deny that he's got quality. Of course, he has. He has got quality in him, and he has the quality in an area that we're not, like you rightly say, Mas. We're not we haven't got much abundance in that type of that number 8, 10 sort of area that normally Madison has covered last year. We don't have Madison. We don't even have Kulusevski. So in terms of that type of mold of player, we don't have a lot. And for me, when you buy a player, and we certainly bought Xavi Simons for a very good reason, right? And we are short in that department. For me, and given that he's at the beginning of his career at Spurs and in the Premier League, the only way this guy is going to find his way in the Premier League is by continually playing him. Because we don't have alternatives in that position. 2, you give confidence in a player that even when he's not playing as well, perhaps he's struggling, or perhaps he's going through the moments that we were having as a team anyway. But on top of it, himself individually, I think you just carry on playing him, and he will find his feet that way, and then he will repay you with creativity and goals when he feels that there's certain players like him. Is a confidence player. You can see by his face that he is totally a confidence player, and if he feels that the manager has full confidence in, and the only way the manager can truly transmit that confidence in him is by continuously starting him and playing him. And even if he doesn't play as well, he's back into the starting 11 the following. Then he will feel that at least the manager believes in him, and sooner or later he'll repay him with performances. I hope this is now. I'm not getting too carried away because it's only been the last couple of games he's really got into it a little bit. I want to see him continue now, starting first and foremost, but continue with no matter how difficult the opposition in front of us, he can still make and determine games and swing them in our way. It's the only way we're gonna find out who the real Xavi Simons is. And I always felt that it will be closer to the second half of the season where he will start to see the real player, because there's always the first few months. It's always difficult for any foreign import, more so one that's never played in the Premier League as well. There's an adjustment period, after which he settles in, starts breathing confidence, understands his teammates, has the confidence of the manager who's playing him every week, and therefore he will start repaying everyone with performances. We have 2 choices: stick with him, play him, and he will come good, or we say, look, man, he's not going to be the one. We won't find out if we don't see him more on the pitch than off it.
Then the flip side of the coin is, and I know, like, listen, I'm all for playing him, right? But there's also a fine line from a manager's point of view. If he's looking at him going, do you know what? He's getting kicked about a lot. Do you know what? The fans are on his back now. And like, listen, a couple of games ago, like the fans were all. I was hearing fans going on about, I don't know about him. I'm not sure, he's too lightweight. He's this, he's that.
Yeah, but the problem with Spurs, JP, in argument to that, it wasn't just Xavi Simons. It wasn't like everything else was working and Xavi Simons working. Then you can say, you know what? Yeah, we need to manage.
But you want him working, don't you? You want him working.
You have to.
And therefore, from a manager's point of view, it's like, well, do you know what? If I take him out of the firing line for a little bit, I'm just trying to give you a counter, right? If you take him out, if you take him out of the firing line for a bit, give him half a game's rest. Don't start him this game or whatever. Allow him to come back. Allow him to get control of himself, because you could end up in a situation whereas he's new to the league. He's a young lad. He's come to the brand new country, stuff like that. It could get too overwhelming for him.
I don't think this season, with maybe the exception of Van der Ven, maybe Romero to a point, I don't think there's been a single player that hasn't been in the firing line. Every player has been in the firing line playing for Spurs this season with our fans, especially at home. So I hear what you're saying, and normally I say, I completely and utterly agree with what you're saying. Your mind, what you're saying is it makes perfect sense. But that happens if you think, the team is working, but there's an area of the pitch that isn't quite there yet, and we're taking the fire line, and we put someone else in that can do that job whilst we wait for him. But we don't have that. We don't have that player with those characteristics currently available in the squad. We have to keep playing him, and obviously now, hopefully, they get a bit of breathing space, a bit of confidence in those 2 wins that they got. Although against was 2 teams that we should have really got wins. I felt probably the same against Fulham as well. We should have got those points. But those are the kind of games sometimes a team needs when they're going through it, just to give them a bit of oxygen. Hopefully that oxygen has now come. Xavi will take some confidence from those games and take into future games. And I hope that this is really now it takes off from here. I don't want him to have these kind of games. But I foresee there's going to be games ahead where he will have a little bit more of a dip and they come up. But then eventually it will happen. Where
it's going to take a season. And what I'd say, in a way, Iggy, it could be proven by taking him out so far. The last 2 games he's been on fire. So maybe it works.
He needs to be managed well. So
he's a young player as well, man. We keep forgetting how young he is as well.
Not that we should be too concerned with burning players out, because they're professionals. They should be fit enough to play many games. But we do need to manage him. Like Kudus as an example, he was being run into the ground at one point
already, and he's only been here 10
and
games.
He had a week's rest, and he's come back and he's playing well again. So. He needs to be managed well, but I don't think we should get carried away though, because we played the mid-table Brentford side, who they're not a bad side. They had some
that good though. This season. To be fair,
but we should be beating them, and we played a below average. What are they bloody called? Prague side. Sorry. As well, and we had a decent performance, and we could easily now play our next game in the Prem and lose. So, and we'll be back to square one, and I fully expect that. Not us losing, but like you said, having an up and down form, and that's for the praise that Frank is getting now, showing more attacking intent in the last couple of games, he'll equally get, from me certainly, the same vitriol if we default back to the way we have been playing. But
he's got
what I will say is this: is what I've always said is when you compare how other managers, like Poch as a prime example, he came in, he didn't start well for the first 3-4 months until Christmas time or January, and then we really kicked on under Poch. If that happens under Frank, then he'll get praise, right? Because we can see progression, we can see things improving.
Agree.
I think Frank got it. I think Frank got it all wrong for 3-4 months. I think it was just a joke. I'm not one of these people that just sits there forgetting everything people said. The start of the season, I was told he's a coach, he can coach. Where's the coaching? Then it was, he's made us solid, he's made us strong, resilient, and then we fell apart. So where's the resilience in this strong team? Then I got told, no, he's got to focus on the defence first. He's got to build a strong defence, and then he'll work on the attack. Then our defensive stats were worse than Ange. So I'm like, so where's that? It's like everything I get told, I see the opposite. And I'm sitting there saying, and I was saying it for weeks, I'm saying, can we just please start Xavi Simons? Can we just pick one left winger and stick with him and see where we go for 10 games? Can we allow the fullbacks to get higher up the pitch and not stand on the halfway line or be deep? And can we stop playing a double pivot? I don't mind against the top 6 teams being more defensive. I've got nothing against that. But against most of the teams in the league, I think we should just go at them.
Can we talk about that?
When I say going at them, that doesn't mean everyone's on the halfway line. Right? It means give the players freedom to be more attacking and not just give the ball to Kudus and hope to God he creates something. The last 2 games, Frank's done a lot of the things I've been saying. He's done a lot of the things I've been saying. So I'm not surprised we look better. Why it took me 1 month to figure out, and it took him 4 months. So that I don't understand. But I hope he keeps doing it though. I hope he sticks to it now, and because I think that would be the best thing that could happen to us.
What would you have done with Xavi Simons? What would you have done? Would you have continued playing him regardless? Because at the end of the day, we don't have another attacking midfielder.
Iggy, you got 2 sons that play football. You know that your boys, they get better the more games they play. Every time they're on the bench, they're not improving. They're watching. Okay, they might watch. Oh, I've learned something watching him. I've learned something watching that. On the pitches where you develop more than anything else. It's why I've always said our youngsters haven't got a chance at this club because we never give them minutes. We never give them minutes. Mikey Moore's gone up to Rangers, went for a rough patch. They've stuck with him. Now he's got a song. Now the fans have got a song for him. So when you give a player minutes, he's either going to show you what he can do or he's going to drain. And he's no good. But we can't really honestly say Odegaard is shit because he never gets enough minutes for us to say, do you know what? We really know.
No, he has had 3-4 games, and I think I've seen.
I'm talking about a good run of 10 games. Let someone, because you're going to have a bad game. You're going to have a good game. You're going to have a bad game.
I don't think he's our best left winger. I don't think Tell's our best left. I think, you know what, I saw more from Bergvall on the left showing attacking intent, making things happen, right, than what I've seen from Odegaard.
He gets a lot of back-to-back starts, Bergvall. Bergvall gets a lot of games to start. See, look, this is for any player. If you don't start players on a regular basis, how do they build any momentum? It's like the gym. If you go to the gym once a week, you're never going to get anywhere. If you go 3 times a week, you're always going gym, eventually you're going to get fit. Eventually you're going to be in shape at some point. Our players will play 2 games and then they drop for 3 games. Look at Spence. In, out, in. The only reason he's starting now is because he's injured. And then people say, Spence had a bad game. He had a bad game because
for any player, for any player, especially young players, it is so important that you pursue by playing them. And even if they have a bad game, that's part of their growth. You allow them to have that bad game, so then they can improve. And if at the first opportunity that he has a bad game, you take him out of the team, that's all he's left with. He hasn't been given an opportunity to turn that around. So it's important that you play that young player, and also it shows that young player that you're not just judging him on one bad performance and you get him out of the team. Now I understand the manager is under pressure himself because he's got to get results, and he's not. I haven't got patience, so I can't play you all the time and wait for you to arrive when I'm purely judged by results. There's a fine balance in it all, but it's so important that if you truly believe in the qualities of the players, that you pursue with them because you see something in them and you know that these bad games will make them a better player in the long run. And also if you've invested in a player, like we all saw, I certainly saw a player in Bergvall, even when he didn't start off great. I said there's something about, I said it from the off, there's something about him. It's good. We've just got to continue playing him. Listen, with Mikey Moore, I think I think under the right guidance, he could have done well on that left hand side because we really lack a left sided player really. I felt he could have at least been given his chances to claim that spot, because after Son left, you should have said, you know what, we'll keep Mikey Moore, we'll bring someone else in on that left hand side, and we'll let them fight it out and for that left hand, because given that we've come on the back of a trophy, I think this season would have been the perfect time to say, you know what, we're not going to be starved of winning trophies because we just won one. Now this season is going to be a case of get these young players together, get them to play more frequently so they can all get to know each other, but also know that in 6 months' time you could potentially have a really, really good player. Mikey Moore is a good player. We know that he is, and Bergvall is too. And
see the great thing, the thing that I agree with you on Bergvall. Why I'm a lot more patient with Bergvall than what I am with other youngsters is because he only costs us 10 million quid, right? And so you're willing to give the boy time because he has shown glimpses of magic and good play, Bergvall. And certainly in the last 3 games that he's been involved in, he's had moments of bad quality, but he's also had moments of good quality, and he's a busy player. I guess that's what I like about him. That he's, no matter how good or bad he's playing, he's always everywhere on the
fighting.
pitch.
You like Maz. You like him because he fights. You like him because he doesn't matter how he's not affected whether he's having a good game or a bad game, because he could be having both at the same time in the same game. But what you see consistently about him is that he's always fighting with every challenges, every ball. He is putting himself about, and that's what's admirable about him. Other players, quality players, perhaps having a bad game, and you're thinking, okay, you're having a bad game. What else can you offer the team?
Well, what did Odegaard do yesterday against?
There you go. That's the
right. Look at his. You know, he had one moment where he could have done something, and he as what you see with Odegaard, he never converts. Whereas I think if you gave Bergvall those same moments, let's say 3 of those moments, I think he would get at least one of those in, and that's the quality difference. And you know, I don't know whether it's right to bring back Moura now because he's having a decent run now at Rangers.
Season,
but again, you can see that with Moura that he's got that quality about him already. I just don't see it with Odegaard and Tel. I just do not see anything from them that suggests to me that they've got it. You know,
I think what I would say is that I don't think those managers have time still. You're saying playing for 4 or 5 games and stuff like that. Literally, like we've just lost 4 or 5 games at home. We haven't won at home this season. Everyone's paying for blood, though.
Because
I think, do you know what? Still, every manager that comes at Spurs, every manager
have been so negative. That's why we lost at home. But people are too scared to call out the manager because they've made their bed, they've dug their heels in, they've planted their flags. This is where I'm at. I said from day one when he comes in, I'm going to wait and see. Yeah. What I've seen so far has been underwhelming, but it's been promising the last few games. It has been more promising.
New manager, where he's come in as a new manager, right? He has his own style. He has his own philosophy. We can't affect that in a way, right? The club, they understood his PowerPoint presentation. They reviewed what he did at Brentford and all of that. They picked him for what he's good at, right? And I totally get the fact that we're saying suddenly he's come to Spurs and he's not doing it, right? But he's gone from a club here to a club reasonably up there, right? It is a big jump. Suddenly he has got pressure, irrespective of what you say or what anyone thinks. He's got pressure to win games. While it would be good to play Odegaard for 6-7 games, if he's not getting results, he has to turn to something else. He has to also find his way in the players that he wants.
But he never stuck with him. This is what I'm saying. The only reason Gareth Bale is the player that he is in the record books is because Redknapp stuck with him. He stuck it out with him. Go back and remember how shit Bale was and the problems we had. Not shit. He was very underwhelming.
If we had
you're going to keep playing. You're going to keep playing.
Every time we played him, we kept losing.
If we had a reasonable alternative, do you not think they'd play the alternative?
We've got one. He should play Bergvall on that left. I'm telling you, he's got it in him. He's got it in him.
I think you're missing my point. My point is, we don't know what level some of these players are at.
No, we do. Stop saying that.
I said
we know what
Maz, you do what others do. You're taking what I say and you're thinking something different. I said some. There are some players in this squad. We don't really know where they're at. There's some we know exactly where they're at, right? We know Richie is a donkey. We're going to get onto him in a minute. We know Richie is not good enough. His stats will tell you that he's flying. But you saw last night a ball crossed the box and he scissor kicked himself and the ball went off the pitch. Right? That's Richarlison.
My boy.
But the thing is still, what I'm saying to you is...
He does it every game. He does that. Every game he does that, by the way.
No, but still, I'm not misinterpreting what you're saying.
Pardon, Maz, 2 seconds. I do understand your point still. But if he's the manager and he sees him week in, week out and in training and everything, and he doesn't think that he's that player, he's not going to pick him, right? However, if someone's injured and someone needs a rest, that's the only body he's got to put in there. He's not there to.
He's here to win games, right?
Yes.
And if he's going to make decisions that cost us games, then he has to take. He's earning £4 million a year.
But if Odebert's not doing it, be it 1 game, 2 games, 3 games, 4 games, 5 games,
He's
10
had
games,
an ample of opportunities.
If he plays him for 10 games and he's not doing it, at what point do you say he's crap?
But then JP, but that's my point. If you give him 10 games,
that means we've lost 10 games because of it.
Yeah. Well, we've been losing games by not doing it. We've been losing games not doing it. So clearly,
your point is
clearly his strategy of dropping players didn't work.
Do you know what? We have a real lack of if you can't claim a place on that left-hand side with the current players that you're exactly like you've got Tell, Odobert, and sometimes Johnson. Now, if you can't stake a claim in that left-hand side in this current squad,
plays there, Richie plays there.
That's what I'm saying. Like you've got to be looking at as a player. If you really are that player. That left, like Odobert. I'm talking as if I was Odobert. If I'm Odobert and I'll be looking at left-hand side, I'm like, mate, I've got to make a claim in this spot here. I've got to make this position
Hold on a minute.
Yeah, but you've got to do that with performances in training as well.
Hold on a minute.
Because how are you going to not do it against these lads when they're getting the proper players in?
Hold on a minute. Thomas Frank took us to the Emirates and he said, right, stink it out. Don't even think about attacking. You can only shoot, but from the halfway line. These are the tactics. And then he starts Odobert. What do you want Odobert to do when we've gone there to play Mourinho on steroids football?
You're talking about Arsenal. You're talking about
none of our attackers got the ball. Mate, our attackers didn't get the ball.
No, but
so we're gonna have a go at
that's why he started him.
No, Stel. Forget about the tactics for the moment.
Iggy's saying cement your place. You cement your place when the manager does.
He's had opportunities where he's been on the ball and he's done nothing with it, or he's tripped over himself, or he's lost the ball weakly.
He came on against Man United and turned the game as well.
What? So from that 50, great. So this season he started 4 games in the Premier League, 3 games in the Champions League, and he's played 13 times. I just checked the stats.
Right? We've only lost 1 game in the Champions League. We've only lost 1 game in the Champions League.
Yeah, fine, right? But out of all of those games, he's had 15 good minutes against Man United.
No, I'm giving you examples of where we can say, do you know what? There's something there, but we don't want to pursue it. Listen, I'm not saying Odebert's the answer, by the way. What I'm saying is I don't know. I'm saying I don't know because he hasn't had a chance. He hasn't had a proper chance.
I think he's had more of a chance than Tell or Bergvall. I'm convinced, I really am convinced that Bergvall playing on that left side is at the moment.
Bergvall's played a lot more. Don't forget, Bergvall was playing a lot last year as well for us, Maz. A lot.
But I'm talking about him now in Frank's team. Yeah,
I think Bergvall's played a lot more than what Odobert has.
Well, I'll check. Let me check.
It's a kick in the teeth to have a centre midfielder playing on the left wing. You've got 3 other players, 3 wingers. And if you haven't played centre midfield on the left, ahead of 3 wide players, let's call them that.
Bergvall's played 18 times this season, so he's played 5 more times than Odobert. But rightly so, because Odebert's been crap.
So I was right then. He's had more of a chance. This is what I mean.
Yeah, I agree with you. I confirmed.
And it's not just Odobert, guys. It's not just Odobert. You could say the same for Tell. You could say the same for what's his face?
We've seen
Archie
enough of
Gray's been getting more chances lately, but no, there's one more player. Hold on, Johnson's been completely ostracised from the squad.
Yeah,
because
we'll listen. We're all not his big. We're all not his
got
biggest
19 goals.
We struggled for goals, and this guy's can score goals. There's one thing he's been consistently.
It's the only thing he can do is
scoring.
And so why isn't he playing him up front then instead of Richie?
He's been playing him on the left-hand side. More than
I don't know.
Bring him on the show and ask him.
Every time I see Johnson on the left, I know what's going to happen. Shit performance, waste of time. What's the point? If you're a manager, you can see. Listen, if you're a decent manager, man, I'm going to say it. If you're a decent manager, you can see he's not a winger. You can see this guy's not a winger. So when you play him on the wing, either you don't know what you're doing, or you're hoping he becomes something that you know he's not.
But I don't see him as a good forward because what qualities has he got in the forward? Like he
can't hold the ball up.
Jermaine Defoe, for how small he was as a footballer, he actually used to do decently well when he used to hit the ball up to him. He would fend off the defender or get his body in his way. Yeah, it was a strong little
Johnson
lad, right?
as a footballer is very average, right? As a footballer, he's very, very, very average. But as someone that can get on the end of the ball, someone that could take a snapshot from 8, 9, 10, 12 yards out. Listen, he can score. Listen, I don't. If we sold him tomorrow, guys, I wouldn't care less. I couldn't care less.
He's got such a bad shot, though. It's like the only time he can score is when it's a tap-in or when he's p-rolling it into a corner.
Still got to put it in the back of the net, man. That's what I'm saying.
I would
underrated, man.
How many chances did
Richarlison miss more of a chance
from 6 yards out? And we like, oh my God.
I would rather put him
and he's a centre forward.
In the middle.
Brazil's number 9, man.
Well, yeah, fine. I think. I don't know. Actually, I don't know who's worse. I'm really struggling. You know, I don't know who's worse, Richard.
Let's get on to Richarlison.
Let's get on to Richarlison. Goals, man.
I think, Maz, the fact that he scored a hell of a lot of goals last season.
Yeah, no, granted.
Even more than Richie.
He was Tottenham Tappingham, wasn't he? He was the king of it.
I think it's been really harsh on completely omitting him from the starting 11. Completely. This season, I think out of everyone, I think he's been treated the harshest. Given what he did last season in terms of goal conversion, we've been struggling for goals, and he's been completely left out. And when he has been involved, he's been starting on the left.
Because I can see why Frank would do that, because his output during the game is so bad. He may feel that having him in the team.
You leave him out.
Because he plays him as a winger, Maz. He's not a winger.
Maz, you leave him out, then the players that are coming in have got to score. Now, if your team is struggling for goals, and you have your last season's top scorer on the bench, all right, because you're preferring as a manager other players in the starting 11, and they're not scoring goals, and others as well, you're not scoring enough goals.
But there's one factor you're omitting, Iggy. By playing him, does that mean we win or lose?
Well, we have to play him to say that. At the moment,
but we know what our form's been like.
But right? Let me just add this, guys. Everyone has seen
we're 11th in the league, not playing him.
Let's just get one thing straight. Because
where were we last season when he was playing? 17th. So
yeah, but he was top goal scorer.
But the point that what I'm trying to get at, is we know he's a bad footballer, and fine, he can nick a goal. But does his goals mean that we win games?
As Romero, Van der Ven, and
that doesn't make sense, man. Sorry, man. It doesn't make sense because it doesn't. Because if I'm scoring goals and I'm scoring 2 goals a game, but we're conceding 4 and we're losing, how's that? I've done my bit up here. If we're then conceding 4 goals, what can I do about it as a forward? Now, let me just answer one thing about Johnson. I said last year, let's not get that shit twisted. I'm not his biggest fan. I'm not a Johnson fan.
Sounds like it, mate. You're getting really animated.
No. I'm defending on numbers because nobody can argue with numbers. We can argue, debate anything we want. Nobody can argue with mathematics. And maths tells you
you're conveniently ignoring the point I'm making to suit your argument.
I'm not conveniently. You just said, but we're not winning games. But how can you blame him if he's scoring goals?
Because this is how I can blame him. Because maybe him being in the team is such a detriment to the team overall in terms of the shape, the defense, the way the.
So we were 17th because Johnson was in the team.
No.
Come on, man.
No.
Come on, man.
Let me allow my point, right? That when Frank is picking the team, I'm not making it up, right? when he's in the team, Frank is thinking, you know what, this is actually more detrimental to the team than him nicking a goal here and there.
Right, so having strikers or forwards are not scoring at all is far more.
But you're saying they're not scoring. But Richarlison has been scoring.
Who?
Richarlison has been scoring, hasn't he?
Can we get onto Richarlison?
This season we've scored a lot of goals. We'll go into Richarlison, but this season we've scored.
But before we go into Richarlison,
all the forwards
Pull up the
how many
stats
goals?
on how many goals we've scored this season versus last season.
What? 1 second. I just want to just one thing before I forget. Okay, I just want a quick opinion. Just not a long monologue, just a quick opinion from you and everyone in the chat. By the way, everyone in the chat, thanks for being here. Smash a like. You know the drill. Very quickly. What do you make of our new corner specialist?
Hero.
He is the greatest corner specialist I've ever seen.
He's the GOAT, mate. He's the GOAT.
He came back from injury, mate, and he's straight on the pens. On the corners, I mean.
This is our new corner specialist. How do you feel about that?
I don't get why. I don't get in 2025, nearly 2026.
He's still there.
My boy Alex has spoken, mate. Yeah?
He's still at the
I always liked Alex. He's top geezer.
Yeah, but Alex has been coming on. We are on TV for 2 weeks in a row. I've been going back and forth with him. He comes in last night and he goes, "Yeah, I agree with everything you said." Still, I'm like, "Oh yeah, okay, 2 weeks."
I don't. I can't answer for. I can't answer for Stell. I can answer for myself. I don't play devil's advocate.
Look, you can't. Look, we all know that Johnson's a really crap player, right? But all we're hanging on is the fact that he scored last season. He managed to score 19 tap-ins, or how many goals he scored.
They weren't all tap-ins, man.
But that's still far more.
You know what I'm saying? I'm being.
But there's still far more than what any forward this season for Spurs who have got more games than him. Now, listen, I'm not sitting there saying Brennan Johnson's the best. Listen, I know fully well of Johnson's capability, and I'm not a fan. For me, I'm with Stell. He can leave tomorrow, and I wouldn't lose an ounce of sleep. That's not the point. The point is, like I said earlier on about Odegaard.
Okay,
if you are not in the team and the player in front of you is not contributing with the same amount of goals that you have been doing the season before, I find a problem with that. If Odegaard is not collecting in that team, it's because he's not putting the performances in.
So you're saying to me, out of the 5 games we've lost, right, and the 4 we've drawn, if Johnson was in the team, we would have had different results. That's what you're saying, and I don't believe that.
I'm not saying. Now you're putting words in my mouth. I said what I did say is I have a problem with, like I said, can't argue in maths. I have a problem if my team is not scoring enough goals and you're selecting every single man and his dog ahead of that player that got you goals last season. And I'm not implying. I'm not saying he's a right winger assisted.
But you're saying we're not scoring
We're ignoring
enough
the fact that he scored 19 goals.
Hold on.
You are ignoring that fact.
You're saying we're not scored enough enough goals, and I'm looking at the stats now, right? And we've scored plenty of goals in comparison.
No. Don't count Van der Ven. Don't count into Talk to me about the forwards. The forwards.
We've scored 25 goals this season. We're not exactly.
Talk to me about the forwards. Who are the forwards that are scoring goals? Talk to me about the forwards.
Can I just, how many games?
Talk to me about the forwards. Can I have an answer?
Iggy, I've got a question for all of you.
I want an answer to the question. Talk to me about the forwards. How many goals have the forwards got? Can someone in the chat maybe answer that question?
Yeah, but I don't think
so maybe I'm going to go to the chat and ask them. Can someone put down the forwards and how many goals they got? I'm going to ask the chat because I'm getting ignored on the panel. Someone in the chat, so many goals.
Richie's, well, I don't think it's telling Odegaard's got like 2 or 3. Odegaard, I don't think he's scored.
Big numbers now. We're talking big numbers.
Only scored all.
This season,
big numbers.
Brennan Johnson has hardly played for Tottenham, right? He's been ostracised. And he's still got 4 goals, man. He's still scored 4 goals this season, hardly playing for us. So what anyone says, is he a good player? No. Is he a good winger?
We've been the worst quit.
No. Is he intelligent? No.
No.
Does his face? Yes.
No.
But does he score goals? Yes, he does.
Do we play
I said he doesn't score goals. I'm not arguing that he doesn't score goals. All I'm saying is
do you want a goal scorer in the pitch or someone that doesn't score goals, Matt?
I'd rather have good players still at the moment.
Are we
goals win games? Goals win games.
Yeah, but we don't know. And that's why I asked earlier: is Johnson the match winner? And I don't think he's the match winner.
I believe he got us a European Cup last season.
Listen.
Yeah, well done. One game. Yeah, quality.
It doesn't matter. He delivered.
Oh,
he delivered.
Yeah.
He delivered, man. He delivered. He delivered. In the biggest moment of the season, he delivered. Whether you like him, whether I like him, is besides the point. I don't like him as a player. Let's just say this very clearly.
So for the last, okay.
He delivered.
All right. Let me just finish this argument. Why is it now that you're talking about Johnson, right?
Because
and the last 3 months we haven't hardly spoken about him.
Because the players that are getting ahead of him are not delivering.
We're winning now
with goals.
We're winning. We've turned the corner. We're winning. We're the best team ever.
Oh, so we're basing this on the last 2 games. Okay, cool.
Guys,
I can't have this conversation, man. Let's talk about the Johnson, man.
There we go.
No, I just want to say
it was an own goal.
I just want to say one thing.
Own goal.
From all of his goals,
it wasn't an own goal. What are you talking about? What are these lies? Just lying now.
This is just trolling now. This is just pure trolling. This is trolling now.
Stop talking about our guests in the show like that, please.
One point I want to make. Hold on, Murray. One point I want to make is we don't play the style of football where he got his 17 goals.
No, we don't.
So how's he going to
JP, I've got no problem with what you're saying. I've got no problem with what you're saying. But the style that we are playing, the style that we are playing, however, even if that doesn't involve Johnson in it because it doesn't suit his style, whatever you want to call it, the style that we're playing is still meaning that our forwards are not scoring. Certainly not the numbers that they should be on at this part of the season.
So, but having him in there is not really going to be any better, right? So we can't claim his.
Not going to make any bloody worse.
Okay, but we can't claim.
But this is that now you're making things up. You don't know that.
Hold on, we can't claim his 17 goals last year as a positive sign.
19, not 17. 19 goals.
But we can't.
Yeah, but we can't dismiss that either, though, JP. We're dismissing it like it didn't last year. It's not to say 19. That was last year. Forget last year. That's done. Okay,
There's one thing you cannot dismiss. As much as you hate it, Brendan Johnson goes down as a club legend. He scored that goal.
No way, man.
He goes, there's some hard truths. Wait. Ed won us a trophy under Levy's regime, and Brendan Johnson scored that game winner. As much as I could not rate Brendan Johnson, it is a fact.
He's not a legend, Mari.
This is so fraudulent. When Mr. Stelios, right, was tracking the games where which players scored in the big games and all of that, was Johnson part of that?
Blah 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 blah.
Johnson
has to be
scorer against the bottom 10.
No, answer the question. Against the bottom crap. Right, there we go. So basically, he's only going to make a difference against the teams that we should be beating anyway.
What, like Fulham?
Think about
and
this.
Wolves and Bodo Glimt.
Things have changed since you started tracking.
Maz, when I say
Maz, hold on,
listen.
Maz just cooked himself. Wait,
Maz. When I say
Johnson
Woodgate,
only does well against the shit.
When I say Woodgate, what do you think? Like, Maz, when I say Woodgate, what do you think?
What do you mean when you say Woodgate? What do I think?
Sad ball off his face, won us a cup.
Yeah, he's a defender.
Yeah, Chelsea cup final.
I wouldn't call him a legend, though. I wouldn't call him a legend, Mari.
He's not a legend, is he?
Not a legend, but he had that moment.
There you go. You cooked yourself, Maury.
But Johnson.
Apparently, that was an own goal as well. That was an own goal as well.
Yeah, but Johnson scored. He scored what? 19 goals last season.
19, yeah. He scored
19.
Listen, every single one of us cussed Johnson as a player.
No,
exactly.
Isaac can't score.
Maz, if you tell me about him as a player, I agree with you.
We're going to come
if you're leaving him out, if you're leaving someone that was top scorer last year to play other players, that's absolutely a manager's right to do. I'm not suggesting that it isn't. Absolutely.
Right now,
But they have all got to start responding with goals.
Johnson is more reliable. Right now, Johnson's more reliable. Johnson's more reliable than Gorkarez, who catches 3 goals in how many games he's played?
What are we doing? Like Mark Iggy, your point, right?
Mhm.
He's decided, despite him scoring those goals that you said, those 4 goals, right, that by him being in the team, for whatever reason, right, he's better off not playing him, right, and playing someone else
to do. And I'm with you with that. I'm fine.
Right. So if we're saying, right, that we're not Frank out, right, which I'm not Frank out at the moment, right, although I'm not impressed with him, right, then why are we saying, oh, he's made it a wrong decision that Johnson?
Because the forwards that he is playing with more consistently, I'll tell you what I said. The forwards that he is choosing continuously ahead of Johnson, in my opinion, are not responding with goals. And that's the one thing that Johnson at least responded with. That's been my argument the whole point. It's not because I think he's a good winger. It's not even that I don't think that, of course, Kudus is a better right-sided player than Johnson is as a whole. Of course he is. But if you look at Audibert, Mwani, all the other players, we've played them all ahead of Johnson. We've played every single one of them more times than Johnson has. But they're not responding with goals. Johnson, at the very least, has done that. Even with the few games that he has played, he's still contributed with 4 goals. So all I'm defending is Johnson's numbers. I'm not defending Johnson as a player or whether I like him or not, because I don't like him as a player. I am defending the numbers that he's scored. That is all. That is the only thing I'm defending. The numbers, the math.
Did he score the worldie to help Wales qualify for the playoff? Like I said, I don't rate the guy. Look, trust me, I don't rate the guy.
Numbers. You cannot.
But some way or somehow, this guy, for some reason, finds a way to score.
All right. Well, then you better start backing your boy Frank then, like to 100%. Because if you're backing your boy Johnson, you might as well back Frank 100% still.
Can we change the subject now?
Back your boy. Back your boy. He's not been given a chance.
20 minutes.
He's not been. You better back Audibert as well because he's not been given a chance.
Right.
You know, this is the levels we're going to now.
No, there's another level. Richarlison, right? We're going to this level.
We're going lower.
So there's a reason I'm going to bring this up, okay? Because Richarlison, and we are there he is, El Pigeon. The Pigeon this year, whether you love him, hate him, think he's awful, want him gone, or think he should have a contract extension, the facts are the facts. In the Premier League this season, he is the joint 4th top scorer with Phil Foden and Semenyo, who we want to spend £80 million on. He's one behind Mateta and Welbeck. And he's the joint 2nd highest for assists out of the top 10 strikers with 2.
So he's undroppable then?
He is matching Phil Foden's output. So guys,
how can you ask for Brennan Johnson to replace him?
Exactly, when we've got the undroppable Richarlison in the team.
Let me finish. Not only that, but the marquee signing, £60 million, whatever his freaking thing is, Gyökeres, this brother, whose add-on fees, once it's all done, will come to 67 million, he's only scored 4 goals. So Richarlison is outdoing Arsenal's marquee signing. And I'd like to remind everyone watching, especially you Gooners, the reason we haven't won a league is because we haven't signed the number 9. We never replaced Aubameyang. It's not Arteta's fault. You spent 67 million on this guy, and Richie is outperforming him. Facts. As Iggy said, you can't argue the numbers.
Can't drop him now. That's it. He's a star player. We've got to play him.
Where are you at with Richarlison, guys? Because the data don't lie. The data doesn't lie.
Richarlison's the one thing I could say for Richarlison this season, perhaps in the other seasons, that with Solanke out, with Tel having had these issues as well, Mwani in and out, injuries and stuff like that, he's had a clean run of games. And like we've said with regards to Xavi Simons earlier, when you get a run of games, you play with a clear mind, knowing that you're going to get a game again the following week and the following you're going to be starting. So that, listen, whether it breeds confidence, knowing that you're not having anyone breathing down your neck. For him, it's obviously worked because he's getting, in terms of goal ratio, goal match ratios, he's the decent numbers. So he's on his own. I haven't changed my mind on Richarlison as a player, but if the maths, like I said, the maths add up, he's doing well to keep. But then again, he hasn't had anyone around him where he's been getting pressure off or where he's been hooked off. He can't, because we haven't got any other centre forwards right now that can play ahead of him. So it's been beneficial, certainly for Richarlison. It's beneficial for us because he's scoring goals. So at the moment, it's working all right for all of us. But if you want to tell me that Richarlison is the way forward as a number 9 for Spurs in the seasons to come, absolutely, man. He needs to go as soon as possible.
So why is Johnson with his 9 goals not the way forward?
Let me make this very clear, because you obviously missed me saying it earlier on. If Johnson left tomorrow, I'd have no issue with it. I'm only defending his numbers. And someone asked me earlier on, I saw the question in the chat earlier on.
Played 2 up front, Johnson and Richie.
I don't know who asked the question. I missed it. I read the question. I can't remember who wrote it. Said, how many of those goals that Johnson scored converted into wins? Well, the strikers or the forwards' job is to score goals. However, if we're leaking goals at the other end and as a result comes to losing games, how's that his fault? How's that? It's like to say, well, if we'd kept clean sheets, we would have won more games. Yeah, thank you very much. But we're not keeping clean sheets, so we have to keep clean sheets.
So
the truth is that you have to find a balance between scoring goals.
The truth is you have to find a balance, and the balance is.
And last year we had anything but balance.
The balance is, Iggy, that Johnson is enough of a bad player that despite him scoring as many goals as he has, is not good for Tottenham Hotspur, which is why he doesn't get in the team.
Do you know what the hardest thing?
Who's getting those goals that we're missing out from him?
Out of the 25 goals, excluding the Champions League that we've scored, right? We've still managed to score 25 goals, which is nowhere near the lowest in the league.
Maz, that's come from defenders, though, man.
Fine, you know but where the goals come from is immaterial. The fact is that the other players are stepping up and scoring the goals.
It's not immaterial because the defenders aren't going to get you 15 goals a season. They're not.
This is just madness,
I know they're not.
Our centre backs have scored more goals than our forwards, man.
Matt, what you're doing, you're straw manning the argument. We're talking about a player, and then you're talking about the team as a whole. These are 2 different arguments. Look, I'll just give you my take on it, and wherever people want to think. For me, the hardest thing in football is to score a goal. That's why strikers get paid the most salary. They cost the most money. Messi's, Neymar's, Van Nistelrooy's, Henry's, Aubameyang's, Kane's. They always cost the most money because it's the hardest thing to do. When you've got someone that can do it, you can't just ostracize them. No matter how shit we think. Like Richie, Richie is rubbish. He's a rubbish football player. But we can't drop him because he's the 4th top scorer in the league.
But still, you proved. But what I'm getting frustrated is
the same applies to Johnson. We've dropped him.
You proved that Johnson only scores against the crap teams, right? When you were tracking it,
but we've struggled against him this year,
and he scored a lot of goals over a very few games, which makes his stats look really good. He'll score a couple of goals against a crap team, then he'll
If we beat Fulham and we beat Wolves, crap teams, we would be 4th right now. Johnson didn't play in those games. We didn't start him as a striker or as a forward player.
I don't think he would be the match winner. This is the point.
You can't use the data against me, but then when I bring up the data against those crap teams, you want to dismiss it. Then the game that Johnson was good at.
Missing the data because this season we're not beating the crap teams anyway because of other factors, right?
Do you not think if we've got 1,000 subs, big up. Thank you very much, everyone. Appreciate you all. Woo! I think that means we might be allowed to do super chat soon. I'll have to check. The thing is, though, for me, is there not an argument to say when we play these rubbish teams, let Johnson play more of a striker, when we play the top 10, don't play him because he's rubbish at that. And then we've got the best of both worlds.
I think he could be an effective sub coming on when we need goals.
He was good at that in his first season, wasn't he? Coming off the bench and scoring.
Yeah.
Look,
let's put this argument to bed. Until Frank tries it, we won't know. So we have to wait for him to try it. But I think that he's not going to try it because he doesn't think Johnson's a good enough player to do what he wants on the pitch.
All right, Maz, can we agree?
Can we talk about Richarlison a bit? Because we've gone back on.
Well, no, I just want to finish off. Maz, can we agree? Johnson is shit, but he scores goals against the shitty teams.
Only if you play a certain style of football, Mari.
Yeah, for God's sake. Let's move on.
Our standards as a club are in the mud. Our standards.
You're the one defending him.
Exactly. There we go. Shame on him.
Shit teams.
You know, like City, Arsenal, Liverpool. They watch Spurs channels. They're like, "What the fuck are you lot on about? You lot are shit." I'm like, "Yeah, okay." We have got low standards, man. We do. We do have low standards.
Richarlison, there we go. Go on, Dan's asked you a question. Still, how many goals has BJ got scored? Stop ignoring us. This is the point I made earlier.
He doesn't play. I don't know. He stopped playing for us. We'd rather play Odebert or Tell or Archie Gray, and I don't know, man.
He's not a match winner.
He doesn't play for us. He doesn't play for us anymore.
When's not a match winner?
When's the last time Johnson played for Spurs? I can't remember.
Maz, in fairness,
no, stop.
He was a match winner for one of our biggest games of last year.
Richarlison.
That question is a bit does my head in. I'll tell you what it does my head in.
Oh, we're back onto Johnson.
No, I just read that question now. It does my head in. How many of BJ's goals converted into wins? But all he can do as a forward is score goals. Then you are reliant on the rest of the team. It's like to say how many. It's like
so. Why were we giving Son a hard time when he wasn't playing that well, but he was still scoring?
You can't stop goals going at the other end. That's what the point is. I don't get that question. It does my head in. Like so if he hadn't scored those goals, we would have won the games. That's what you're saying. Because his goals didn't convert into wins, so without his goals, we might have won the game. That's what.
What that tells me is that when we did win and he scored, he wasn't the reason why we won the game. It was because of the
him scoring goals is the reason why we lost.
When we tracked it, our match winners were Maddison and Kulu and Son, right?
So Johnson scoring for us actually hurt us because we lost those games.
No, I'm not saying it hurt us. All I'm saying is I don't think he's a match winner. And no, it's not because what you don't want to accept is that the other players around the team are now chipping in to score goals, right? And we've scored as many goals as what we did.
So Johnson was stopping all the other guys scoring goals in the team. What are we talking about here, man?
What the question is that? Honestly,
listen. Do you know what?
Let's move on. No more Johnson conversation.
I wish. Do you know what? I wish I never even had this whole conversation. Yesterday we were 3-0 up, and Thomas Frank chose not to bring on one youth player. We had 3 on the bench. We had
5 goals.
Oluwesi, we had Barnett, Scarlett. None of them came on, guys. Is there a problem with this club? Do we just hate the youngsters? Is that what it is?
No.
I don't know, man. We've got some really good youngsters in us in the setup, and they're not getting a look in. So make of it what you will. It's Johnson's fault.
I honestly think
it was a joke. Relax. It was a joke.
I agree.
I honestly think it may be twofold in the sense of, number one, that part of it is they're not really, I don't want to say good enough, but they're not good enough for right now. I'm talking about now for first team football, along with not having managers who are set up to play.
Mari, I'm talking about 3-0 up. I'm talking about 3-0 up. None of them.
I know. That's why I throw in the managers, because if you have, I hate to say it, our rivals, Arteta playing Max Dowman, who's like 15, 16, and then last season he was playing Lewis Skelly, you know what I'm saying? And they're in the middle of a, you know, title run to put these young kids in. And you see some other clubs that are doing the same thing, but you never see it. And we don't even have the pressure of a title run. And you think, okay, 3-0, you know, well, Dane Scarlett, you know, of the world, you know, Barnett of the world, you think that would be a perfect time for them to come in, but they don't get minutes. So it's either the managers, last two managers that we had, completely don't trust the youth. You know, I expect that from Conte and Mourinho in that sense, but these last two managers, they haven't played them, or they just don't think they're good enough for first team football now.
Didn't you say still that you'd spoken to the academy people and they said that the youngsters weren't all that
No, the
last season?
the
I'm sure you did.
okay, we're going back 2-3 years now, though. They said that the coaches rate them. The scouts think they should be playing. But the academy director said that he didn't feel they were quite ready. But he said the under 14s, that crop will be. Harvey Barnett is part of that crop. He was in the team yesterday. He didn't get a run out.
I think one of the things for yesterday, I would say, is the fact that
Mikey Moore, they said Mikey Moore was one that they thought would come good, but they've blown him out.
Yeah. Yesterday's game, I would say it wasn't as easy a 3-0 as it looks on paper. 3-0 looks like we were all right in that game and pissed it or whatever. But the amount of chances that they have, it was almost like if they got one goal, you could see something maybe happening, our players having a bit of a wobble, them getting another goal back, and then suddenly it's chaos, right? That's why I think he didn't bring any youngsters on.
So when is he going to play?
It's not his prerogative to play him, is it?
People said to me,
He's there to win
Frank's
games. Well, go ask those people.
Well, people said to me, Frank's going to play the kids in the cup. Well, we've just drawn Aston Villa. They're not playing. They're not going to play against Villa.
They're not playing against Villa.
But
No.
did he play? Did he play? I don't think he even played any kids at Newcastle.
No,
right?
I just don't understand fans who say to me, this squad shit, what do you want Frank to do? Okay, well, you've got some youngsters there. Oh, but they're not ready. But you said the squad's shit. So you don't want to play.
I would.
You can't have it both ways. Not you, JP, but
No, I know. But what I'm saying is that if the
bring
players
them
are,
up, bring one on, bring Scarlett on. Let him have a run.
I think Scarlett
Richarlison was awful. Richie was shit.
You know how much I like
A
Scarlett.
kid that scored 5 goals.
I'm so gutted that Dane
Yeah, Harvey
Scarlett,
Barnett, yeah.
even now with Dane Scarlett, he's literally getting no football. By being a sub and an unused sub, he's not getting any football at all now. And
Exactly.
I really
We brought him back
had
from
hopes for him.
Oxford, innit, JP? Brought him
Yeah.
back from Oxford. Yeah, who's getting game out there? We brought him back because we needed him. Now it's like, yeah, listen.
It doesn't make sense.
It's a shit place
it's
to be
harsh.
when you're a kid. It really is. You get the schooling, but nothing more. And like Stel said many times, man, speaking as a coach as well, kids need to play, man. They need to learn. They need to play. They need to make mistakes, and they need to play. They're not going to learn nothing.
Agree. The fact that if we are 3-0 up, 4-0 up, or whatever it is, in the last 10 minutes, 5 minutes, bring them on. Just give them that time, right? Even if it's the appearance fee, but just get them on the pitch to be able to feel good about themselves, so that the next time they get on there, they have a bit longer and they have a bit longer. I totally get that. But I think the team
Ange played a lot of the youngsters. He played quite a few of the youngsters.
Did he, bollocks? I think he only played them really because there was literally no one else.
JP, he brought 3 on in the Europa Cup to win a game.
Because there was no one else, right?
Because we had 48 injuries because everyone broke their hamstring.
There was options. He brought on 3 academy.
We had a 14-year-old at one point who Andrew was saying he's got to go to school in the morning.
Mate, the point is, he chose. He gave them minutes. He let them play. With our youngsters at the moment aren't getting a look in at all. Like none of them are getting a look in. Mikey Moore played 3 or 4 games under Andrew last season, I think.
Yeah, but the whole point last year was he's not playing Mikey Moore because they
He
had
played the
Werner.
academy goalie as well. He played, what's
They
his
had
name?
Werner.
What's the mixed race guy we got in goal? American. His dad's American. I forgot his name.
What a DJ.
Not Kinski. The guy that
No.
played. He got man of the match when we played Hoffenheim.
Austin?
Austin.
Brandon
Yeah,
Austin.
he played Austin as well. Like
Austin.
I'm not here to promote Ange. I'm just saying he played quite a few kids last season.
Yeah.
He gave them a bit of a chance, whereas this year they've had no chance, no looking at all, nothing.
And
I
I'll
think
go
Scarlett.
back.
Did Scarlett play one game for us this year? Scored a goal.
He came on for 10 minutes and got a penalty.
Yeah, he did. He got a goal. Yeah.
No, Richard.
Yeah, Richard. You know what? Richarlison's such an arsehole.
You almost tried to do it
Such an
yesterday, but like Romero went and gave him some rules.
Do you know what? I don't know, man. I just feel that the youngsters at our club haven't got a hope in hell. I just don't think, whether it's Conte, whether it's Mourinho, whether it's whoever, the kids just don't have a chance. Nuno, Stellini,
Literally, still,
now
I think
Frank, they haven't got a chance in hell.
even if Frank came out and said, "Do you know what? We've got a squad. We've got this. We've got that. Not sure about Richie. Not sure about anyone else. We're going to play the kids because we've bought Archie Gray. We've got Bergvals. We've got all of these youngsters in our squad. We're going to go a season and play all the kids." Everyone would give him a hell of a lot more leeway. And
you know
the
who
kids
did
would
play
get
the
an
kids?
opportunity to learn.
Mourinho, right? And also, in other news, Mourinho's beating Conte's Napoli 2-0.
Oh, that's going to go down well. That's going to go down well.
That's the Tottenham El Sacchio, isn't it?
Yeah.
Listen, guys, I just feel that whatever we do, man, our kids just get completely bumped.
I think it's play the kids. They have one good game, one bad game. Everyone gets on their back.
Right. So can I just say to all of you in the chat who are talking absolute waffle, you should all be embarrassed. You're all in the chat, not all of you, but quite a few of you saying, "Oh, Stel, he had no choice but to play the kids. He had no choice but to bring on those three youngsters." You're just gunning for Ange for no reason, right? Let me tell you the bench before he brought on those youngsters, okay? Because I've just checked it out. So he brought on Ajayi, Scarlett, and Mikey Moore. Do you know who we had on the bench? Bissouma, Kulusevski. What? He can't bring those two on? He brought them on after the kids. He brought them on after the kids.
You're
So
never going to
he
know,
said-
man. You're never going to know by not giving them a chance.
The point is, he said to the kids, "Go on then, have a go." That's what I'm saying.
You're not
he's
going to
got
know by not
options on
giving
the
a
bench.
chance.
He had options on the bench. He had options on the bench.
I'm sure we slagged him off at the time for not playing the kids.
I just think you're never going to know by not giving them a chance. You're never going to know. People say, if they're not getting a chance, they're not good enough.
I agree with Stel. We should be giving our youngsters a chance.
Chance.
Do you remember before Ange came, we said this is a perfect opportunity to blood in our
Guys,
good youth.
Do you know?
You've got to give it like you said. When the game is
Iggy,
done, like yes,
at
you're
3-0
right.
up.
I agree with you. By the way,
At 3-0
up. 3-0 up. Yeah, absolutely. If people say, well, if they're not getting the game, that means they're not good enough. Well, how could you be so dismissive saying they're not good enough, and yet dismiss when someone says, well, you're not going to know if they're good enough by not giving them an opportunity.
Guys, correct me if I'm wrong.
Would you not?
I think I had a go at Ange when we were 4-0 up against Newcastle.
And not bringing a couple of kids.
And he didn't bring on any youngsters. Yeah, because they were down to 10 men because they used up all their subs and they had another injury. Yeah. I blasted Ange for the same thing. I blasted him for the same shit.
But also, people now looking at Michael Moore. They're saying, man, we shouldn't have given Michael Moore to Rangers. You'd never have found out if he hadn't gone to Rangers. You never ever would have known what he was capable of.
The same as
You'll get
now. You know what you get. Well, Scotland's a rubbish league. What you wanted the Rangers?
No, but Nicky, come on. We all knew that Michael Moore was a player. We knew that.
Not everyone. Not everyone. Why wasn't he given more time last season?
No, it should have been.
If we all knew it.
He should.
He should have been. He should
but-
have been given a lot more time.
Because we had Werner and Tell, right?
The way Ange used him, if you
Werner.
remember.
JP, you're winding everyone up now.
Oh my god.
That was
Oh,
my
no.
argument then. Like, at the end of the day, what was the point of re-signing Werner when we could have
Exactly.
played Mikey Moore?
And
Giving him
yeah,
time.
exactly.
We got rid of Werner and we got worse. How did that happen? By the way,
I feel like we've gone off track on it still. Massively. Empty seats.
Empty
I'm
seats.
shocked to hear that.
empty seats, guys. Apparently, from what I've been told, there was 47,000 at the game yesterday, which means
I think I know
empty
what this
seats.
is. Look, and I don't want to make this political, but the economy in the UK and what's been happening with the budgets and stuff like that over the last couple of budgets has caused massive problems in the UK. Everyone's finances are tight, and we are charging the highest
Christmas is
ticket
around the corner
prices.
as well.
Yeah, we are
How
charging
can-
some of the highest prices in the UK as we historically have done. And fans now are looking at it and thinking, you know what, I've got to choose whether I can afford to go to the games or not.
On a
Because
Tuesday
maybe
night
they don't
against-
like the football or they don't like the style of football or whatever. They'd rather sell their tickets or not buy the tickets. And I genuinely think that is what we're seeing.
But also, man, it's a Tuesday night, a Slavia Prague Champions League game, and we're still charging obscene amount. I mean, if the level of the opposition were like
is
Man
there not-
City,
Yeah.
Real Madrid, like tonight, Bayern Munich, then you can say, you know what, fair
Yeah.
enough.
But
But look
didn't
at the
that
opposition that
win
we're playing. We've probably played, without being funny, yeah, we've probably played like, compared to what everyone else, you're looking at all the big games, like last night, Liverpool, Inter, tonight, Man City, Real Madrid. We haven't played that level of opposition. So why are we charging these prices? I don't get it, man. And why they're empty seats?
Vinay said he was going to bring the prices down, right?
I don't know. I don't know. Listen, I don't know how much people were paying for last night.
Because
I don't
in
know.
one of those fans forum things that they had, you know, with the where he got asked questions, like they had loads of people on the stage, and they asked him about the prices for the Champions League games, and he said, "Yeah, I understand that the model's high at the moment, and we'll have a look how we can like reschedule it so that we bring the prices down."
But what was I mean, I don't know. How much were people paying last night?
I don't know.
How much did people pay to go to the match last night?
I think I saw Dan saying it was 40 quid.
40 quid.
Depends where you
that's not
sit,
bad.
though. Depends where you sit.
Yeah.
You know, Graham. He made a good point. I was chatting to Graham. For those of you who don't know Graham, he goes to all the home and away games. He's one of the original Enoch Out protesters. He said to me that a couple of years ago, and he's right because I remember this. Spurs used to do a package. You could buy
4 games or whatever.
Yeah, you could buy 3 or 4 games, and you'd pay a bundle package for all those tickets.
I remember that.
Yeah, they've stopped doing all of that. So
It was
now
like
you've got to
75
pay.
quid, I think. It was 75 quid for 3 games. So it worked out about 25 quid a game, which seems all right?
Yeah, I just think the way money is for most families now and people is tight, and they're choosing not to go because, you know, they've got to make a choice. Is it a social entertainment? Can they afford it? Yes or no? If we charge cheaper ticket prices, then I have no doubt we'll fill out the stadium because people can afford to go, and it's good value for them to go. But not when we're playing Prague and you're charging top dollar for some of the seats. They're going to be like, forget that. I'm not paying that. And I think this is a good thing because it's about time the fans voted with their feet on these issues. We should be praising them for not turning up. I know it sounds bad, but we should be praising them for not turning up and forcing the club to change their behaviour. We've been talking about this for years. They should lower their season ticket prices as well. You know,
I think
if they want to charge these prices, as will be said, then get us top dollar players that people want to pay the money to come and see. But don't give us Richarlison, Tell, Johnson,
let's say that.
Odebers, right? And kids, and say, "Oh, come on, pay us the top dollar prices." No, I'm sorry.
Do you know another problem as well is like UEFA and FIFA are on crack. They're just trying to get as many teams involved in competition. Like you see it with the World Cup. Half the teams going to the World Cup shouldn't be there. They shouldn't. It's degrading the competition. Yeah. They've done the same with the Champions League. Look at some of the teams in this Champions League, right? If you're a Spurs fan, you're like, we've qualified for the Champions League. This is the elite level football. I remember under Poch, we would play away at Barca, Real Madrid at Wembley, Borussia Dortmund, you know, Bayern Munich. Now, Copenhagen's, Slavia Prague's. Who's that team we pumped the other day as well?
Although Copenhagen beat Villarreal, by the way, today.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Fans aren't going to pay $12 to watch that.
Still, it comes down to money, and they.
Yeah, of course it does.
And
They've
UEFA
added
was,
a lot more games.
but also UEFA was.
League.
UEFA was
more games.
Also UEFA hand was forced by Florentino Perez. That Super League, and I'm telling you now, has not gone away. They want that Super League, and the way it was constructed is kind of how it's constructed. It's the way how the Champions League is constructed now, and they did that to include
But to
more
me, Mario,
teams.
the Champions League is currently a Super League. Let's be honest, it is.
Yeah. That's
format,
exactly. They did that.
Format is
Mate,
the Super League.
They did that to quell the Super League.
I mean, the Champions League, Paphos, my parents' home country. None of those teams should be in the Champions League. And I'm saying that as a Cypriot.
What they want to do,
down.
To do, and the question is it working out? Is that they wanted those markets, right? You may think, okay, these clubs are small, but Athens is a huge TV market. Copenhagen is a TV market, right? They want more markets so they can sell higher for these TV. It's all TV dollars, right? It's the reason why La Liga wants to play 2 games in Florida, in Miami, Florida, and they blew a gasket because La Liga is not making money ever since, especially Messi and Ronaldo being gone, because of the money. The TV contract that the Premier League makes, it's almost above par of Champions League. It's ridiculous. The money that the Bournemouths, the bottom feeders, Wolves are getting, the TV contract is more than Real Madrid. And so that's why Real Madrid has to, and Barcelona, they don't share the money because the TV contract, I know here in the States, for La Liga sucks. So UEFA, whatever they do, expanding these tournaments in FIFA, it's all about money. Money drives everything, TV dollars, the market, and you're going to see more of it. But the reason why UEFA did that, because the Super League scared the shit out of them, and they had to do this.
Maury, listen to these teams in the bottom of this Champions League: Kairat Almaty, Bodo Glimt, Slavia Prague, Union St. Gilloise, Paphos, Karabag. Mate, these are Conference League Europa clubs. What are we doing? They're just trying to get as many teams in, inclusive for everyone.
Yeah.
The midweek league will be more important than the weekend league.
JP, we're playing 8 group games, and if we don't get in the top 8, we've got another 2 playoffs. We might play 10 games just to get out of the group.
This is a shambles. 6. This is what they're doing it for. More games. And we're just talking about people struggling for money to get to games. It ain't going to work. For me, listen, can I be honest with you guys? I hate the Champions League. I hate the Champions League. I don't like this format. I thought even the last... is
that because format, Milan aren't in it, though, Iggy?
No, it's not a Tottenham
in it. Yesterday would have been a good day, Iggy, right?
But what I'm saying is, I hate this for the reason you just said.
I agree.
For the reason you just said, I thought the group stages were brilliant. Home and away, it was so good to have a home and away. Now,
home and away was so much better.
Come on, man.
But Iggy, I'm gonna say this, and this is the nerd in me, and I've said this. It's a very hot take. It will be on a neutral channel. What ruined the game? Because my question: why did all these smaller clubs like Red Star Belgrade and certain clubs like that, in the 80s, why did these upstart teams in the late 70s start winning? Even Aston Villa winning, a European championship, and even in the small countries. And it all goes down to when they change the quota in these leagues, right? Real Madrid Last year, they were complaining they had no Spanish player starting 11. Right when there was a time where Milan had a quota just 3 players, and what 3 players they got from the Dutch league? Right, it was everybody else was Italian, and there was 3.
But there was a rule in place before the Bosman rule,
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
there?
that was the
You
rule.
have to play
And you know what?
X amount of
That
time.
for me, that was the best time in football because
I
all the
agree.
talent spread out,
Yeah,
even
I
to the
agree.
small, all to the small
I
clubs.
totally
But
agree with
but
this.
when Real Madrid and those other clubs said, "Okay, we want to break these quotas," all the talent
Galacticos and stuff.
went to their super clubs. Went all to these clubs. When you look at a guy like Bastuta, he played at Florentino. If it was 2025, he would never play for a club like that. Or Ronaldinho played for PSG. At that time,
Yeah,
PSG
the
wasn't
talent was
a monster.
spread right across all
The
that's
talent
what made the league.
spread.
And what it
The
did as
talent
well is
spread.
it
And
also
even
made
the South
stronger.
American players
Yeah,
who were not ready, or Ganacho, will still be playing South America,
yeah,
working on their tool at Boca Juniors and River Plate. And
You're
when
right.
they're ready at 24,
yeah.
25,
And what
they
that
will
did,
come over to Europe.
Mari, and
Yeah.
what that did as well, right? To your point, is it made the national teams even stronger because
Even stronger.
yeah,
The quota and the Premier League is guilty of it. When they removed the quotas in regards to how many international players you could have, it ruined it for the small clubs, and the talent all become condensed and not
it
spread out.
concentrated the power. It just enabled the bigger clubs just to hoover up talent from all
Yeah.
over Europe to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's bad. Overall, I think long term it's been bad for football, and I think they need to bring it back. You know, I agree with you, Mario. I love the days
I'm
when you
all
could
for
only
quotas.
have
I know
3
it's
foreign
controversial.
players or 4 foreign players in your team max, and everyone
Yeah.
else had to be, you know, because for all the reasons you said, there's no point repeating them.
I
For all
have
the reasons you
friends
said.
in Bilbao. Bilbao, if you know the history, they don't have like to have players who are not from the region.
We
But
know the history of Bilbao.
yeah,
Do we
yeah,
know the history of Bilbao?
yeah. For that to play for Athletic Bilbao. But they were making fun of Real Madrid. Certain clubs, Spanish clubs, make fun of Real Madrid, say, "You're not a Spanish team anymore. You're basically Brazil, France," because they had a starting lineup of just all Brazilian France players. And I know it's controversial. Well, we're one world, everybody. No, football got ruined when they got rid of quotas. When teams were allowed to have 3 or 4 international players, and
Foreign
you
players.
had to, I'm looking at Inter when they had the 3 German players. They had
You could
uh
only have 3 foreign players in the starting
Yeah,
11
yeah,
at one
yeah, and you're
time.
starting 11, and for the AC Milan great teams, it was only 3, the front 3. Rijkaard, Van Basten, and Hewlett.
Bullet.
Yeah, and everybody else was Italian. I'm looking at the
Yeah.
Premier League teams of back then. It was the same way, and I'm like, the competition, right, was more better. The smaller teams, the Red Star Belgrade, with Hagi and them, these guys, they could upset the big teams because all the talent was together. And so the way football will get back to good quality is when they allow quotas back. Let the domestic teams have
I agree. I agree totally.
a quota.
It's not
You
going to
can't.
happen.
6,
It's,
7
it's too
players.
it's too corporate now. It's too much
It's too
It's not
corporate.
going to happen. We know
Exactly.
that. It's gone
Too
too.
much
Money.
so.
It's the money
Yeah.
right now. It is. It is.
But yeah, Iggy. So yesterday must have been a wicked day in your household then. Spurs won. Joe's Liverpool ended up getting 1 over Inter. The old
It was
Iggy
good. It
family
was a
must
good
have been
night,
going
man.
mental.
It was a good night. It was a good night all round, man. I can't complain. Sometimes they do have get the Carlsberg day. You do you know what I mean? You do get them every now and again. Spurs winning. I mean, even the weekend, Brentford we get the win. Arsenal lose at Aston Villa. By the way, that troll with that European Cup Aston Villa. On the way out
Love
in
that.
coming out.
Love
I
that.
mean, what was that about? I thought it was an actual joke, but to have Arsenal players waiting waiting in the
tunnel.
passageway with a European trophy just standing there, it was hilarious, man. That is grade A trolling, man. And then they lost in the last minute goal. We win. That was
Just
perfect.
the arrogance of them to even think about doing something like that. Like honestly,
No, but
what,
that's the
what
games
a
you play,
club.
don't you? You get in the players' minds.
Honestly.
You know
That's
what
the
the funny
things you
thing
do.
is, though, man? Like,
Yeah, but how about they win something in Europe first before they start acting the big boys? You know what I mean? That tin pot crap club that they are, you know, small time club in Europe.
You know, the game was 1-1 with only a few minutes to go, man. To go and think, you know what, we're not going to settle for the draw. We're going to go and win and end up losing the game as a result of it. Fucking hell. He couldn't make that shit up that day.
Can we before because we've got 15 minutes left?
Man City have beaten Real Madrid away 2-1. That's Xavi
Mourinho's
Alonso.
beaten Conte.
Oh, he might be out.
What I want to talk about is Hoddle when he came out and said that VDV isn't going to sign a new contract or extend his contract. And
why did Hoddle announce that?
He's talking about the good players in this. I don't know. It's an interview, and he said that VDV
is that what he thinks, or that's official?
I don't know.
I think Hoddle knows more than he makes them believe.
I'm not sure.
He's got his sources. He's got his RTKs in the club.
But if that is true, then I don't blame VDV.
I was just going to say, do you blame him?
No, because he's thinking, you know what? It's either a tactic to get more money from Spurs. Like if you want to keep me, you've got to pay me the big bucks. Right? Or he's thinking, you know what? I've won something at Tottenham. I've got my contract. I'll be gone. I want to go. Yeah. And can you blame him? No, because if he carries on the way he is, he can get into the top European teams. I think he's a really good defender.
Van der Ven's got a contract till 2029, so I wouldn't be stressing about it. So it's still a long way to go, man. But yeah, eventually, you know the big teams are going to come in for him, but at least we're going to get money for him if that's nothing else.
You lot were talking about Arsenal win something in Europe. What about us in the FA Cup? We got Villa next. We got one hell of a tough draw. It really annoys me in the first round when we keep getting all these hard draws. Every year we seem to get a tough first or second round draw. And the teams around us, well, not around us, but the teams that are higher up the table, they seem to get easy draws. What is it with us in these tough draws all the time, man? It's like Villa at home. It's a tough game.
Listen, the only thing positive about it is that the fact that it's at our ground and not theirs. That's it. But you're right, man. You look at all the other teams, who they got compared to what we got. I think we got the toughest draw, I believe. I don't think anyone else got a tougher one.
What is the formula?
I think once I found that out, I was like, I can't be asked even looking at anyone else's.
How do they select these teams? But what is the formula?
It's a bowl. It's a bowl, and they put their hand in and pull out a ball.
It's like the lottery. It's like the same way they announce the draws for the World Cup, Mari. So it's a bowl with the balls. Yeah, they come out. That's it. It's the same process.
Like, should it be like the teams that are ranked like a coefficient?
No, there's none of that. There's none of pot one, pot two.
Luck of the draw.
That's the beauty of the FA Cup.
Old school FA Cup, isn't it? Like anyone can draw anyone.
Some low ranked team.
So we could have drawn Man City. Basically, we could have drawn Man City.
Anyone. You can draw anyone. And the lowest ranked teams in the lowest division can get a Premier League away tie. That's the beauty. That's what they call the magic of the FA Cup, because that can come out of the hat. You can be going.
We get
away,
Villa
away. You could be playing away from home on AstroTurf with 500 people, and you know that's the luck of the draw. But a lot of these little teams want to play away because obviously it's financially more. One game.
So we could get Rochdale, AFC Rochdale.
Yeah, you can get any of them. But those teams want to play on your ground at the Premier League ground, because obviously the revenue they get a lot. They get their fair share of it, and that will finance them for the next sort of seasons. 3, 4, 5 seasons. So that's why a lot of these guys want a Premier League tie away from home.
Just to answer the question. No, I have not seen an FA Cup draw. I've seen, of course, the Champions League draw, the World Cup draw, and then they actually have like a formula. These teams can't play these teams. I've never seen an FA Cup draw, and so that's why I'm just like, man, what is their formula?
There isn't one, Mara. To answer your question, there isn't one. Anyone can get anyone. Anybody can get anyone.
Yeah.
We've got 10 minutes to go. We've got Forest on the weekend away. We've beaten Brentford 2-0. We've got a 3-0 win against Slavia Prague. We're now 11th in the league, as you can see. However, it's so tight from 4th to 4th is on 26. 4th to about 14th. There's only 2 wins. So it's still pretty tight. Forest are just above the relegation by 2 points. They've got negative 11 goal difference. They've won 4, drawn 3. They've lost 8 games this year. They're not a good team. They've conceded 25. They've scored 14. Listen, there's no excuses not to win this, right? But it's Sean Dyche.
Yeah.
And Sean Dyche is a very difficult customer to play against. What are you expecting from this game? Is he going to park the bus and try and hit us with a counter? Is he going to be a bit more adventurous? Are Spurs going to go back to a double pivot, negative tactics because it's away from home? What are you got? Let me come to you first, Maz. What are you thinking for this game? Because if we win, we could potentially get back into the European places, depending on what the teams around us do. If we lose, we could end up 14th, depending on results. If we draw, we'd probably stay about 12th, 13th, something like that.
I expect us to win, and anything other than a win, even a draw, is not good enough. We should be beating Nottingham Forest, especially how they've done this season. I know Sean Dyche has turned their fortunes around a little bit compared to how bad they were under Ange. He's a tough cookie. He's going to park the bus, no doubt, and try and hit us on the counter. And we've got to deal with that. One thing I do know about us, putting aside these last 2 games, is that we struggle against teams who do park the bus. We find it hard to break these teams down. Frank has got to coach them, right, and do the business on that front. So yeah.
Maury, what are you thinking?
Well, I think the Sack Ange Classical is going to be a very negative game. I think it's going to be a difficult game. I think it's going to be hard to break them down. I think that we should pull it out either with a Romero or VDV header on set piece goal 1-0. I think this is the type of game it's going to be. It's going to be ugly. Like most EPL games this season, I think this might be, putting lipstick on a pig type of a game.
Nice. Lipstick on a pig.
Yeah.
JP, do you expect us to win, or do you think maybe a draw? Will we be attacking, or are we going to go there and be negative?
I think that, I would like to think that he's worked out now. Do you know what? If we're on the front foot, it works out better for us. However, I do think that with Forest going into, they'll probably play that low block, won't they? And try and hit us on the break. So I think inadvertently it will be an open game, and Gluck will be on the front foot. I think we'll beat them. I don't see why we shouldn't be able to beat them, to be fair. I'd like to think he goes with Xavi again, and he'll probably go with Archie Gray again because he took him off the other day. So I think he's kind of worked out maybe that's a bit more dynamic than having your 2 holding kind of defensive mids. So we're going to go for it. 3-1, I say.
3-1. Confident. Are we gonna shit the bed? Are we gonna keep the momentum going?
We're away. It's an away game, isn't it?
At Forest, yeah.
Mate, it's tough. We need to start strong, man. I think if we allow them to start strong first 15, 20 minutes, man, we're going to have a tough afternoon. I really do think we need to dictate the tempo of the game, try and get one early goal to try and settle them a little bit. If we allow them to get in, they're going to be a physical, and we struggle against physical teams, man. Especially in the middle of the park. If they allow us to play, then I think we get the better of them. Players like Xavi Simons, we've been talking tonight. These are the kind of games where you want to see him come out a little bit because they're going to try and stifle him, try and put the physicalities in it. It's going to be an interesting battle in midfield, and that's where I think the game will be won and lost. I know it's a cliche, but it really is. Though, if you look at their midfield, they're decent, they're physical, strong, and they've got some decent players in there as well. But we have to physically manage it as well. So I fully expect Benton and Paulinho to be back in the middle of the park for that one, and taking the chances when they come. That's the one thing that's let us down this season. If we can do that and keep it a little bit tight at the back, then I think I still back Spurs to nick it just 2-1.
I think Dice will probably say to them when he get into them. That's kind of
because he will know our weaknesses as well. We know our weaknesses, and our opponents are going to know our weaknesses. Do not let them settle. They will say, set the tempo, the high tempo, get the crowd behind us, straight with our intent and intensity and if you I don't know if you've ever been to the Forest ground. If they get going and the fans, they can get really behind it, it becomes a really, really tough place to go. But if you start dominating them and start taking control of the game and take the lead, then they can also silence them. So it's one of them ones there that we need to really go there with a straight back and keep this momentum going, because I think if we don't get a result there, guys, what we did against Brentford, it kind of take a step back. There were probably more than a step back. So we need to try and keep this momentum of 2 wins at least. I know different competitions, but we need to try and keep that going, because we need to start our season really. Because I don't know about you guys, I don't feel like we've gotten into this Premier League campaign at the moment. It's been really up and down. So we'll see what happens. But hopefully, I think we'll win 2-1.
I think this has got 1-1 written all over it. And this is going to be a draw. We're not going to lose, because the one thing we do have is a good away record. So I don't think we lose, but I think we're going to struggle, but we'll get a draw. I think we get a point out of this one. And then the real test is the game after, Liverpool at home, because Liverpool aren't in good form. They're there for the taking, but are we going to take it, or are Liverpool going to kickstart their season?
Bring them on.
Yeah.
I think
that's going to be an interesting. Tottenham Liverpool this year is a very interesting game.
I think Liverpool will probably be a little bit more nervous, because they'll be going, "Oh, hello, Tottenham suddenly turned the corner."
Well, only if we beat Forest. Otherwise, we're back to
square one.
We're back to arguing.
That's what I said at the start of the show. If we don't capitalise on these 2 decent performances, we're back to square one, aren't we?
Yeah, back in the top.
And I don't, whilst I understand that there's going to be peaks and troughs in a season, we didn't bring Frank in for peaks and troughs. We brought Frank in to make us consistent and win and challenge for those top 6 places.
Yeah, but not in this season, man.
Yeah, so for me, that's not an excuse.
I think we're good enough for Europa qualification, man. I don't think we're good enough to make the Champions League top 4 this season. I really don't. But Europa League, I think we can qualify for that. We have got a good enough squad to do that.
But why? But okay, Iggy.
This squad.
We're coming to the end of the show.
No, Matt, if we get players in January, then that my opinion will change. I'm talking about this coming squad as we are.
But what I would say to that is, why will we be able to, let's say, finish top 5, almost qualify for the Champions League in Andrew's first season, but now with the squad we currently got, we can't do it?
This is a team that, because my opinion of this team hasn't changed too much from last season.
I think because we're playing, Andrew only had 1 game a week, didn't he? Which helped.
Yeah.
Spent £400 million since then, though, haven't we?
We spent it badly. We can agree with that.
The issue is you've got one manager that was very attacking, and you've got another manager that's a bit more pragmatic, who's been recently attacking. and you're inheriting players for.
Let's see. There's time. There's time to see how we got on for the rest of the season. I can
End of
only
the
tell you
season, isn't
what I
it?
think
You
at this
got to
moment
make
in
that
time.
assessment. You have to make that
I
assessment.
do agree with Maz though. I've said it for weeks, and I'll say it again, and I've said it on every channel I've been on. This team, to me, can get sixth. I think sixth is very, very doable for this team. I agree with Iggy though. We're not a top 4 team. That's for the birds. But sixth and Europa Cup, there's no reason why Tottenham shouldn't be doing that with this squad. I think this squad.
We should be knocking on the door. Not saying we will be top, but we should be up there.
Listen, I felt that
theoretically, we should be up there. I predicted we'll finish 8th or 9th this season, so I'm not expecting much more than that. But if you, as we've discussed billions of times on many different shows, that the team can show more than what they're showing. They should be showing more than what they're showing.
For sure.
Yeah, I had 8th also. 8th with maybe knocking on the door for 6th or 7th, but I had 8th.
You can't be spending the amount of money we've spent over the last 6 years and being in the current state and accept this. You just can't.
See, but you guys are saying 6th, right? So literally, what is So the City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, Man United, Villa, Newcastle. That's 7 teams. Do you think we're going to finish above them?
Man United are not a good team, man. They're not a good team. Their football is rubbish. The only thing they've got going for them is they've got no Europe this year. That's the only thing they've got going for them.
Which is a good
when
thing.
You watch them play,
above us, aren't they?
JP, see, this is what annoys me about our fan base. If we were more adventurous and courageous against Man United at our ground, we should have buried them. And beat Man United 4 games in a row, man. They're not good. They're not a good club. They come to Tottenham. Listen, I sat there. That first half against Man United was just, I just wanted to just top myself. Oh, what is this, man? Both teams were dog shit, by the way. Both were dog shit. We're better than them. Second half, we were 30 seconds away from taking 3 points off them. But we fucked it because we can't defend them. We're a defensive team. But they're not good, JP, man, you know. I don't know if they can keep getting away with it.
Yeah, but it's the same as like us not being Fulham and not being Wolves.
I think that's because of our tactics, though. I think our tactics put us in those games.
But that has something to do with us being in that top 6.
Well, this is why I've argued that this squad is capable. It's whether the manager's prepared to do what needs to be done to make this squad tick. But then you've got fans like Danny who would just blame the players. But when we win, he goes missing or he just waffles. Hi, Danny, by the way. Hi, Danny.
Guys in the chat.
I don't know, man. Look, I think Spurs are the 6th best team in England, in my opinion.
Right, let's finish on this 5-minute chat. We'll do it quickly. There's been news about a Levy audit where the club are investigating all of their accounts since Levy was in charge and all of the potential deals that could have been lost, etc., etc., etc. What are you guys' thoughts on it?
Sorry, Maz, repeat that. What was that?
An audit.
So the club,
financial audit.
Yeah, the club are initiating another audit. So they did an audit with Levy in terms of why we were so bad, etc. Now they've initiated another one to look into why we haven't had sponsorship, how we've missed on certain deals that have been presented to the club in terms of selling the club, etc., etc.
What does that get you, though? That sounds like a waste of time.
ENIC are bringing in someone to do it. They're doing an investigation into Levy, basically.
Daniel Levy's company limited.
I don't like this.
Well, yeah, it's boardroom warfare, isn't it? And there's two. I can equally see why Levy would be pissed off. Right?
Sounds like a hostile takeover.
Yeah,
they're going to try and force him to cough up his shares.
Yeah. But what I would say is from that front is there's no doubt in my mind that Daniel Levy's got a fucking shitload to answer for if they really are digging into him and seeing what they've done. ENIC are equally to blame because you don't just give the reins to your club and your club, you know, an asset, and just say to someone, yeah, you just run it and we'll just like trust you 100%. That's madness as well. What I do find a little bit,
they would have been happy picking up the checks, right?
Yeah, exactly. What I do find funny is how some people now all of a sudden are like, oh yeah, you know, maybe he wasn't such a good businessman after all. And if Dev was listening to Tottenham Away, we've been saying this. Yeah, he's done well in business. You know, he's done some good things. There's no doubt about that. He's done good things. But he isn't this crack shot, super duper CEO that everyone's made him out to be. The amount of money's wasted as a CEO and an owner of the club has been astronomical. He's made shitloads of bad decisions. He isn't this crackpot businessman that everyone made out to be. But equally as well, on the football side, he isn't as bad as some would make out to be as well. He did take us from being a mid-table club into contending into Europe consistently. So you have to give him credit for that.
I think I would say, Maz, I think it's probably a waste of money. Like, what's the point in spending money on a whole firm?
I think Stells said it though, Iggy, JP, sorry. Is that there maybe they're digging up stuff to give him, force him to try and sell up his shares, maybe, if they find, discrepancies.
Listen, let me tell you something, right? Let me tell you something. You go back to 1991, before the Premier League began, before ENIC and Levy took over the club. Spurs were the joint fourth most successful club in terms of number of trophies won. Spurs, when you compared us to Arsenal in 1991, we'd won more FA Cups than Arsenal, more League Cups than Arsenal, more European trophies than Arsenal. The only thing Arsenal had won more than us were league titles. The 4 competitions that we compete in, we were beating them in 3. They had us when it came to leagues, though. Fast forward, 35 odd years later, 75% of that time was ENIC and Levy. We are completely in the shadow of Arsenal, whether we want to admit it or not. They've eclipsed us.
Yeah, but that's not my point, though.
No, Maz. What I'm saying is, 25 years of ENIC and Levy, and now ENIC want to look at Levy.
Of course, yeah. I get it.
25 years. It's like
they're doing a post-mortem when they should have done that bloody after the first 5-6 years.
It's like you're married to your wife, and after 25 years, do you know what? I'm going to see if she's been cheating on me. It took you 25 years to clock on. Really? What kind of relationship were you in?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
I just find it all stinky and sneaky and just, you know what?
But boardroom politics is that though, still, isn't it? It is that. That is it. It's a dirty game.
It is. You're right. The sooner ENIC sell up and just piss off, the better.
Oh, absolutely. I agree.
I can't stand ENIC. And people saying, "Oh, we got Vinay and Charrington. They mean business now. It's going to change." Really? Is it? Is it going to change? Do you not think it's going to change?
Well, look. At the end of there'll be little things that I've always argued that if you change the guy running the club, you will see some positive things happening at Spurs. So we can only judge that as time goes on. We're not fortune tellers. But I agree with you. Your sentiment is still owned by ENIC. Anyone expecting miracles, you're barking up the wrong tree. There isn't going to be miracles unless all of a sudden now this Damascene conversion and they think, oh, bloody hell, let's spend loads of money and try and win the league, which, let's be honest, it doesn't look likely, does it? Anyway, let's end on that note.
I just remember before ENIC took over this club, Arsenal were not this massive club bigger than Tottenham. They weren't. The rivalry was fierce. We were close enemies, There was a little gap, but it weren't big. Now there's a gap. And it's significant. There's no doubt about it.
And I think ENIC and Levy are to blame for that. We should be right up there with those teams. not saying we should be league-winning team like Liverpool and United and stuff like that, because historically that's what they are. But as you rightly said, Stel, we should be nicking cups. We should be.
Look at all the gooners in the chat, man. Look at all the gooners. Like it's taken them to nearly. It's taken them nearly Wednesday for you lot to come out after the weekend. It's taken them. Was it Arsenal once? Oh, sorry, Arsenal once tonight against Bruges.
Do you know what makes me laugh?
Coming out. It took Stel to say that comment about the shadow for them to come in the comments. So once you guys win, then he says that comment. Now you're all in the chat. But I haven't heard from a single gooner since you got beat Aston Villa at lunchtime on Saturday.
Ask them tonight. They beat an average team in Europe, Slavia Prague. Well done. They won 3-0. Gyökeres started. Ask them how many goals Gyökeres scored tonight.
We've got Richie.
And
Richarlison.
By the way, still, whether it's true or not, or factually true or not, don't ever fucking say that line ever again on this channel. Ever. That is strictly forbidden.
Success-wise, we do, though.
Ever say that shit to me ever again.
True.
Except in Europe.
True. We'll have
in Europe, they live in our shadow. In the continental game, we own that motherfucker.
Yeah. Where it really counts, the worldwide presence.
Is that because we're still holders of the European trophy?
In England, Arsenal is massive. In the continental sphere, Tottenham is massive. We're bigger than them in Europe. I don't know how.
I know it's a fact, but we don't have to say it, man.
No, we do know how. We're just better than them. Which I don't know how.
We don't have to say it, man.
Anyway, listen.
It's also true that it's also true that we're European champions.
£67 million, and the chicken Richarlison is better than our pigeon. Is outdoing your marquee signing.
Well, they need to bring back Welbeck, mate. He's
shit, man.
He's second up there on the scoring charts, isn't he?
My God, Brazil's number 9. Boys, we're gonna see him at the World Cup representing Brazil's famous number 9 shirt.
Mate, he's better than Gyökeres. It's fact. Richarlison is better than Gyökeres.
What am I seeing?
His new song will be.
You know what? I think like I won't say no more.
Mate, if Richarlison's a pigeon, Gyökeres is a sparrow.
I think of next year's World
He's a
Cup,
budgie, isn't he? He's like a budgie, a little shitty thing that just dies after 6 months.
I'm thinking already of this next year's World Cup, Brazil, and I think of all these past Brazilian teams, and I got to look at my kids and saying, I got served R9, the R9. You're getting served this R9. I'm like, where's the justice in that?
You know what? Right, my dad, one of the first Tottenham songs he taught me was apparently back in the day that we used to sing. If I had the wings of a sparrow, if I had the arse of a crow, I'd fly over Arsenal tomorrow and shit on the bastards below. Apparently, the Tottenham fans used to sing that back in the day.
I used to sing that at school.
Yeah.
That's when we used to actually be half decent. We had Gascoigne and we had some good players back then.
Anyway.
All right, listen, guys, we've been going for 2 hours. Thank you very much, as always. God bless you. Thank you for getting us to 1,000 subscribers. Honestly, it's we're back.
We will come out with that jingle. We will come out with the intro jingle. We will have a jingle.
JP had one job, right? We assigned JP one job. He will deliver at some point.
He will. Maybe do 1K now, JP. We got to give him a jingle. Everyone's missing. Everyone before Tottenham away.
JP, can we set you a target?
We've got pressure now because Tottenham away was so iconic. The intro.
I was thinking this year.
By
the end of this year, can we get a jingle?
This is my first year in this role.
Give him time to adapt to the new league.
But struggles the first few months. We've been talking about it.
Such a Levy excuse, isn't it? Such a Daniel Levy thing to do.
It'll be sorted, mate. Don't worry. Next one we'll be there.
Yeah, no, sounds good. And we got some pressure. I mean, to overtake that Tottenham away intro is going to be something. But
Wolves, right? Wolverhampton Wanderers are bottom of the Premier League, 0 wins, 2 points. They are on record they're on the road to breaking the worst ever record of any team in the Premier League history.
Upstep
If Gyökeres
Tottenham.
doesn't score, if he doesn't score against those bums, right? Let me tell you something. Any gooner that comes back into this chat, I'm going to rinse you every single week for the rest of your life. If he doesn't score against Wolverhampton Wanderers, don't you dare come here because I am going to ruin you. You ain't going to like it. He better score against Wolves. Everyone scores against Wolves. Listen, your grandparents can score against Wolves. Your grandparents can score against that club, right? If your careers don't score against them, don't come here. You're not going to like it. You ain't going to like it one bit.
Good night, guys.
Good night, guys. Take care. Have a great week. And come on, you
Much love,
Spurs.
everyone.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Smash the like, subscribe. Thank you very much. God bless. See you next week.
Peace.